You can possibly hear a part of the crowd noise in the background. It's a holiday crowd. It always is when this Dominion final rolls around, and for my money, and fun money or marbles for that matter, I think this is Canada's greatest sports spectacle, because there's no second prize in this contest. To the winner goes the spoils. It's unlike hockey playoffs when you have two teams battling out for the national championship, a best-of-7 series. It's nothing like that in football. It's just one game, and one game only. So the winner goes off as the Dominion champions, and to the loser, well, there's not much consolation in being a runner-up, no matter whether you lose by 1 point or 21 points. Well, the game is just about to start, so we'll turn you over to Wes McKnight.
We'll give you the starting lineup for the Calgary Stampeders now. At snap or center, Chuck Anderson. Insides or guards, Dave Tomlinson and Bert Iannone. At middle or tackle, Bill Puller and Johnny Aguirre. Outside wings or ends, Woody Strode and Chick Chikowski. Flying wing or flanker, Jim Mitchener. Quarterback, Keith Spaeth. And on the half line, Harry Hood, Paul Rowe, and Cedric Giles. Both teams are lined up out there. The band is waiting to play our national anthem, and in just a few moments, this great Grey Cup Classic will get underway here at Varsity Stadium. Another official has been added, which we didn't give you before, the down boxman, Charlie Prince of Toronto. And the official timer is Joe Wright Jr. of Toronto, former Diamond Skulls winner and former center or snap with Toronto Argonauts. The photographers are out there, a good many of them, in the center of the field, waiting to get pictures of the official kickoff, which will take place in a moment or two. There are more than 20 photographers out there in the center of the field. Band is standing, waiting for the ceremonies to get underway. And while the photographers are waiting for the official kickoff, they are taking pictures of some of the players, particularly the Ottawa Rough Riders. The Calgary Stampeders have been in the Toronto vicinity all week for workouts, and they have had their pictures taken plenty during the past week. Now we have the ball is being placed there for the Governor General to do the kicking. He walks up, he doesn't like where it's placed, digs a hole with his heel and places it again himself, and I think he holds some sort of record at Lansdowne Park in Ottawa for a kickoff. I don't know the exact yardage. And also, Jack Wells tells me, in Winnipeg. So he's quite adept at this particular route. Here comes the kickoff, the camera, and it's a good one. Right down to the 40-yard line from the 45 in the north end of the 40 in the south end of this field. It's taken by Chuck Anderson of the Calgary Stampeders, and he tosses it back. And in just a moment or two, we'll have this great game getting underway here at Varsity Stadium. The officials and the cameramen are leaving the field, and we'll have our national anthem in just a moment. The band leader is waiting for the signal. The crowd is being put back from the sidelines, and now, in just a moment, our national anthem.
Almost time for the real kickoff. Almost time to light up a better-than-ever Sweet Cap and listen to the play-by-play of the first quarter. Is brought to you by Sweet Cap's reporter, Wes McKnight.
Okay, Ted, and the game is about to get underway. Ottawa in the north end to our left, and Calgary in the right end. The south end to our right, and Wilf Tremblay is going to kick off for the Rough Riders from the 45. Here's the kick, and it's a short one. Bounds around on the 35-yard line, and it's picked up and run across the field by Jim Mitchener, and he's still going, and he's running a touch at the 40-yard line at the far side. Jim Mitchener for the Calgary Stampeders was sent in a touch after running back that short kick over at the far side, and it's Calgary having first down on their own 40, 10 yards in from the far touchline. Calgary Stampeders in a huddle, coming out of it now, up onto the line. Ottawa 6-3-2-1, a defense, a safety man moving up. Here's a running play to the left, and it's Paul Rowe running, and he cuts back in, and he goes and thrown at the 44-yard line as 3 or 4 Ottawa players get down there. Steve Carries of Ottawa in for the first tackle, aided by Don Loney, their center secondary, and they stop that running play to the left by Paul Rowe. That's a gain of 4 yards on the play. It's 2nd down and 6 to go for the Calgary Stampeders. They're in the huddle wearing their maroon and white uniforms. Look very, very smart. Ottawa with white sweaters. Here come Calgary, close in a spread formation on the wing line. One man in motion, Harry Hood coming away over to this side. The ball is snapped back and fading back for forward passes. Space over to Strode, and it's good at the 45, and he goes for a first down to the 52-yard line, stopped by Bert Haig. That was the first exemplification of what we've been waiting for. Keith Spaeth to Woody Strode, the big colored end or outside wing of the Calgary Stampeders, and Calgary have gone for a first down. The ball is placed on the 53-yard line, 10 yards in from the far touchline. That was a short pass right into Strode's hands. He was finally stopped by Bert Haig, but not before Calgary had gone for a first down. Ottawa lined up on defense, 6-3-2-1. Their safety man back on their 27-yard line. Calgary were out of the huddle, but the referee is cleaning off that football, and one of the other officials has gone out with a towel for him, so they'll have that in readiness for the next time it's needed. Calgary in the huddle officially now. The ball on their own 53. They come out of the huddle, and we have Jim Mitchener way over this side. Close in the spread formation on that wing line. The ball is given to the quarter, and he hands it on a running play around the right side to Seth Giles, and he has sent it a touch in Ottawa territory over at the far side, and it is not a first down. It's not a first down. The ball is right on the 50-yard line, on the Ottawa 50, 10 yards in from the far touchline. All of the action has been in front of the bleachers over at the far side, and those bleachers are just packed, as is every seat here at Varsity Stadium this afternoon for this long-awaited game. And Calgary are on the march. They have 2 yards to go for a first down. They close in the spread formation on the wing line, give it to Spaeth, and he hands it in. There's a plunge right through the center of the line for a first down by Harry Hood, and he goes to the 40-yard line before he is stopped. Gary Lefebvre got in there. Now they move the ball back to the 43-yard line, to the Ottawa 43, but it is still a first down for the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary in the huddle. Ottawa, tightly knit defense. And one man coming away over to this side, Jim Mitchener, and now Harry Hood is running over here too, and it is a plunge through the center for Seth Giles as he takes a handout from Spaeth, and he's stopped by Benny Steck. And there is no score in this game yet, but the Calgary Stampeders, since the opening kickoff, have been on the march, and they have a first down. Ball is on the 40-yard line. It's second down, second down. And now we have a running play again. 2 men in motion over to this side. Keith Spaeth fading back for a forward pass. Back to the 50-yard line. And it's a long one, and it's knocked down by Doug Smiley. It was intended for Harry Hood. Harry Hood was over here, and so was Jim Mitchener. They were well down the field, right about the 10-yard line. But it was knocked down by Doug Smiley, and the ball bounded off Smiley's chest and goes back as an incompleted pass. So it's third down now for the Calgary Stampeders, and the ball is on the Ottawa 40-yard line, 10 yards in from the far touchline. The Ottawa safety men are going back now, Doug Smiley and Wilf Tremblay, and Keith Spaeth is going to kick from the Ottawa 50-yard line, 10 yards in from the far side. The snap is good, and he gets it away nicely, and it's a beautiful kick, and it's taken by Bounding on the 5-yard line. Smiley there, then Tremblay takes it up to the 5, and he's hit by 3 Calgary tacklers, Johnny Aguirre and Bill Puller, and they bring him down along with Chick Chikowski. 3 of them down there to stop Wilf Tremblay, and the ball is right on the 5-yard line. So Ottawa in possession right in front of their goalpost on their 5-yard line. And Fritzie Hansen has gone into the game for the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary on defense, and Fritzie Hansen is the safety man, and he's coming away back now, not taking any chances on those quick kicks of Howie Turner. He's coming away up to the 50-yard line. Here's the play. Ottawa on the ball now, the snap, and it's a running play to the left. He cuts in. Tony Golab carrying the ball, but he is stopped after a gain of only about 2 yards. 1 yard when they placed that ball on the 6-yard line. Chuck Anderson, center secondary for Calgary, was in there to stop him. No score in the game yet. Ottawa deep in their own territory on their own 6-yard line. Second down and 9 yards to go. Ottawa come out of the huddle and up on that ball. Unbalanced line to the left. Quarter Bob Paffrath stands directly behind the snap, gets the ball, gives him a handout, and a plunge right to the center for Golab, and he's down the field. Howie Turner going down, rather. Howie Turner up to the 50-55, and he stopped at the Calgary, sent it a touch at the Calgary 47-yard line. That was Howie Turner, cut right through the left end of the line, and he was finally stopped by Paul Rowe, but not before he had gone to the Calgary 46-yard line, sent it a touch over at the far side. A terrific run by Howie Turner as he went through that Calgary line and went down for a first down. Ottawa 1st and 10. What a difference that one play made. And there's a fumble in the Ottawa backfield. Bob Paffrath, but he recovered, fell on it himself. Bob Paffrath, the quarter, on that handback, fumbled the ball, but he just dropped on it. A loss of about 2 yards on the play, putting the ball on the Calgary 48-yard line, and all the plays been at the far side of the field. Ball is 10 yards in from the far touchline. And we have Howie Turner coming to the Ottawa bench after that great run. Getting a nice hand from the crowd. Ottawa now. Pete Carpuck, the speed boy, has gone in for Ottawa. Ottawa up on the ball. Second down, about 12 yards to go. Ball is given to Paffrath. He hands it for a plunge to Doug Smiley. And there was a fumble on it, and there's a pileup on the 45-yard line. We'll have to wait and see. There's a fumble. Fumble on that ball, and Calgary recovered it. Calgary recovered that fumble by Doug Smiley. It was Dave Tomlinson of Calgary who fell on that fumbled Ottawa ball. However, on that exchange, Ottawa moved the ball from their own 5-yard line right up to the Calgary 46. That's where Calgary have it now, on their own 46-yard line over at the far side of the field. An attempted plunge to the center by Smiley went haywire on a fumble. Calgary recovering. Tomlinson. It's Calgary now with a sleeper away over at this far side, and Harry Hood is running over too. And the ball is snapped back, and it's given for a plunge to the center, and he's still going. Fritzy Hansen, as he weaves his way through to the 52-yard line. Not a first down, but a good-sized gain. John Wagoner, one of the American players with the Rough Riders, and Don Loney got in there to stop Fritzy Hansen. Ball is still 10 yards in from the far touchline. Very little action in the center of the field. It's been over the far side. Calgary come up with an unbalanced line to the right. Keith Spaeth, the quarter, standing directly behind, takes it and flips a pass over here to this side to Fritzy Hansen, and he is down on a beautiful tackle on the 50-yard line by Tony Golab, who got in there very fast as Fritzy Hansen was starting to skirt the end and really traveling. But the ball's on the 50-yard line now, and in. It's midway between the sidelines. Calgary in the huddle. It's their third down, and they have 6 yards to go. 6 yards to go for Calgary on their third down. They're going to kick. Keith Spaeth is standing on the Calgary 41-yard line, midway between the sidelines. Here's the snap. It's a little high. It's good, though. Go just gets it away in time, and it's not as too good a kick. It's bounding around, taken by Smiley on the 20, up to the 25, and he's brought down on a nice tackle by Chuck Chikowski. Chick Chikowski in there with a beautiful tackle to bring Smiley down as he attempted to run back that kick. Spaeth was rushed on that kick just a little bit. He kicked it over to this side, and it went to Smiley. John Wagoner almost got through on an attempted block of Spaeth's kick. Here we have Don Loney, the snap for Ottawa, up on the ball, an unbalanced line to the left. Bob Paffrath, the quarter, standing directly behind and almost underneath. Loney takes it on a handback, and it's a running play to the left with Smiley carrying the ball. He's cutting away back, and he's down for a big loss on a beautiful tackle by Paul Rowe. Away back on the 17-yard line. Smiley cut back deep, trying to get away from Rowe, but Rowe was charging in there and made a beautiful tackle to bring him down.
A Grey Cup final is tops in Canadian gridiron events, just as Sweet Caps are tops among cigarettes. Tops in coolness, smoothness, and fragrance. Smoke Sweet Caps once, and you'll always be a Sweet Cap fan.
Now the Ottawa players are coming out of the huddle. Don Loney up on the ball. Calgary 6-3-2 on a defense. Their safety man away back. Doug Smiley's running over to this side for Ottawa, and the ball is flipped back, and it's going to be a forward pass, and he gets away from his tacklers beautifully, and Smiley just gets it on his fingertips and can't hold it. Up here on the 47-yard line, Howie Turner threw a beautiful pass over to the flat at this side. Doug Smiley stretched for it, just got his fingertips on, but there was no glue there, and Keith Spaeth was there on defense. Ottawa leading Calgary by a score of 1-0. And now Calgary have the ball on their own 10-yard line. To the right of their goalposts. They go into a huddle formation just to the right of their goalposts. The ball on their 10. Score is Ottawa 1, Calgary no score. On a kick to the deadline. Calgary now will start a drive to try to get them down that field. They're on their own 10. The ball comes back to Paffrath, and he gives it for a plunge to the right end of the Ottawa line by Rod Pantages, and he goes for 2 yards before he is stopped by Joe Esquini and Buck Rogers, along with Jim McFall. So it is now a change of players. Fritzy Hansen, Twinkle Toes Hansen coming off the field for Calgary, and Howie Turner coming off to the Ottawa bench. Calgary 2nd and 8 to go on their own 12-yard line, almost in front of their goalposts. The ball is snapped back. Spaeth has it, gives it for a run around the right side, and he's getting away from 1 or 2 tacklers, but he has finally sent in a touch. It was Pete Thotis carrying that ball as a run around the right end, but he was sent in a touch, and the 1-minute flag is still up for the first quarter. Steve Carries was the tackler to stop Pete Thotis, sent him in a touch over at the far side. The ball on the 15-yard line. It is 3rd down now. The 1-minute flag is still up. 3rd down for Calgary on their own 15-yard line. This is the final play of the first quarter. The flag has gone down. Calgary now, they're going to kick from the 5-yard line, and Keith Spaeth gets a nice end-over-end kick away, taken by Tremblay at the 50, at the Calgary 50, flips it left-handed over to Smiley. Smiley drops it, picks it up on the bounce, and he's still going down the sideline, and he is stopped at the 36-yard line and sent it a touch by Norm Hill on a nice tackle. And Smiley, that ball got out of his hand, but it bounded right up into his hands as he kept on running, and he was finally sent in a touch. And that's the final play in the first quarter. The score is Ottawa Rough Riders 1, Calgary Stampeders no score.
While the teams are changing ends, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dominion Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
This is CFRB, Toronto.
North, South, East, and West. Canadian football fans agree that the Grey Cup Final is Canada's greatest annual sporting event. And in every part of Canada, too, cigarette smokers agree that Sweet Caps, better than ever, are the Dominion's finest. Well, on that kick that took place in the first quarter by Calgary, the ball will be on the 36-yard line now. They've changed ends, they're all over, and to bring you a play-by-play description of the second quarter, here's our Western representative from Winnipeg, Jack Wells.
And a good afternoon, football fans. The score 1-0 in favor of the Ottawa Rough Riders starting the second quarter. It's Ottawa's ball, first down, 10 yards to go on the far side of the field. The sun has started to shine, and there's the first running play of the ball game. On the second half, it was Tony Golab crashing over the right end there, and he picked up about 3 yards on the play, and he was tackled by Keith Spaeth, who Wes has told you has been doing some very standout defensive work this afternoon. So it is second down on the far side of the field, on the Stampeders 35-yard line, right on the 35. Second down. Correction, on the 30-yard line, rather, on the 30. Tony Golab, captain of the Ottawa Rough Riders, is conferring with the officials, and now timing is called. The score, Ottawa 1, Calgary nothing. In the early seconds of the second quarter. And it is second down for the Rough Riders. There's the man in motion over the left. It's given to Golab over left tackle. He crashes through 5-10. He goes for close to a first down before he is finally stopped by Spaeth again, along with Pete Thotis and Chuck Anderson. And it is a first down, bringing the ball up to the Stampeders 20-yard line. It's right on the 20-yard line, and the Rough Riders are in scoring position at the present time for either an attempt field goal or a single, or possibly elect to run it. So it's 1st and 10 on the 20. On the Stampeders 20. Here's the running play to Paffrath. Give to Golab again. Golab crashes over center and goes for close to 5 yards before he's pulled down by Jimmy Mitchner of the Stampeders and Chuck Anderson, who's the linebacker up. It's a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5, and it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the far side of the field. The sun is beginning to shine. It's a brilliant day for football. The score is 1-0 in Ottawa favor. And that score certainly indicates the play this afternoon, as both clubs are playing it close to the ground. The tackling has been something to watch this afternoon. especially by Ottawa. Their tackling has been good. There's the man in motion. He goes to Paffrath. It's a long lateral on this far side of the field to Turner. Turner's trying to go around this side. He leaves the road to Carpuck. Carpuck crashes through on the left side of the line to the 10-yard line, where he's pulled down by Harry Hood. And it is close to a first down, if not a first down. It is a first down. It'll be Ottawa 1st and 10 on the Stampeders 10-yard line. And this is the first threat of either goal line for this afternoon, with the Riders getting close to pay dirt. But another 10 yards from here if they can make it, and it's 5 points and possibly 6. And they're leading by a score of 1-0 at the present time. Timeout has been called. Playing in the second quarter. Score Ottawa 1, Calgary 0. Both coaches, Les Lear and Wally Masters of the respective teams, have been using the unlimited substitution rule to almost to the extent of their playing personnel. Both clubs were allowed to dress 24 players for this one. Timing has been called. 1st and 10 on the Stampeders 10-yard line. The Riders come out of the huddle now. Paffrath calling the signals. The line is playing close. There's a man in motion. It's Turner going to his right. Paffrath takes it. He laterals out to Golab. Golab laterals a long one out to Turner. He misses it. It's a loose ball on the far side. It bounces around, and it is recovered by Calgary. Norm Hill. Norm Hill of Calgary recovering a lateral fumble by Turner. And it is 1st and 10 for the Stampeders on their own 22-yard line on the far side of the playing field. Stampeders getting a break there as Norm Hill, playing left end for the Stamps, recovered that loose ball that was rolling crazily around in the turf here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, and he fell on it, and it pulled the Stampeders out of a definite hole as the Riders had possession on first down on the Stampeders 10-yard line. Here's a man way over to the right. It's Jim Mitchner playing wide in the flanker spot for the Stampeders. There's the running play to the left, and it's given to Harry Hood, who goes over center. Harry Hood crashing over center, stopped by Jerry Lefebvre of the Riders. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6 is the count on the far side of the field. And as we told you, both coaches are using this unlimited substitution rule very, very frequently. And it's a little hard to keep telling you who's going in and who's coming out because the play is decidedly fast. And if you're a football fan, you know these substitutions go in and out so quickly that we'd be telling you about them all day. All right, here's the running play. 2nd down, 6 to go. There's the man almost offside. I think there is going to be a horn in the play. It's quarterback sneak. And Spaeth is held on the line of scrimmage for a gain of 1. But there was a horn on the play, and Calgary is offside. Calgary is offside on the play. We can see it very clearly from up here, and it'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and 6 to go. Berry is going in for the Stampeders at left end on the defense for the Stampeders in place of Woody Strode. Right end, I should say. A right outside wing, as Eastern football fans know it. Here's Strode coming off now, but he's playing it wide. He's staying in for this next play. Spaeth is back to do the kicking. He's standing on his own 14-yard line. There's the snap. There's the kick, and it's a long end-over-end ball. It rolls out of touch. There's no chance of a rundown on the play, and it'll be called out of touch on the Ottawa Rough Riders 43-yard line. On the Ottawa 43, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Riders on their own 43-yard line. Any wind today is a crosswind, a very low velocity, so the kicking on both teams of both clubs has been excellent, and there's very little advantage to what either end of the field the clubs are defending. Strode is out, Barry in, and it is Ottawa 1st and 10. Man in motion on the far side, Pete Carpuck in motion. It's Golab over center, stopped by Johnny Aguirre for a gain of 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down, 2nd and 7. Tony Golab, the big power back of the Ottawa Rough Riders, the golden boy of Eastern football. Several years ago, he was named as Canada's most outstanding athlete, and he's played outstanding football for the Ottawa Rough Riders again this term. And it is 2nd down, 7 yards to go. It's a direct snap. It's a quick kick. Turner gets it away. It's partially blocked. Hood goes in to make the catch, and he is dropped at center field, right on the 50. And I don't think there'll be any yards on the play. He was tackled right on the 50-yard line by Len Canavan. Len Canavan. Have a little trouble with that boy. And there was no yard penalty, so it is Calgary 1st and 10. 15-yard penalty charged against the Riders for no yards on the kick. Hood was surrounded as he gathered in that ball. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Calgary Stampeders on the Ottawa Rough Riders 42. Here's the man in motion. Way out to the right. Spaeth has it. Fading back. He's going to pass. He's fading well back. There goes the pass in the air. It's to Strode, and he pulls it in on the 25 up to the 20 when he's run out of touch. Woody Strode picking that one off. Carrying the pass up to the 22-yard line before he is pulled down by Tony Golab. Golab making the tackle, running him out of touch, and Pete Carpuck, and it's 1st and 10, and the Stampeders are in a position to tie this ball game. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Ottawa Rough Riders, and we are playing in the second quarter. Now the Western Rooters are getting a little momentum vocally. It's 1st and 10. It's going to be a pass. Space. Let's go long lateral. The Strode, he fumbles it. It goes into the dirt. It's a loose ball, and it is picked up by Bert Haig. But it may be ruled as an incompleted pass. We'll wait for the official's decision on this one. The pass didn't cross the line of scrimmage on the play. And the officials now are talking the situation over with the captains of the Riders and the Stampeders. And we'll wait till we get that signal right from the officials themselves before we give you a call on this one. It is 2nd down. It's ruled as an incompleted pass. It is 2nd down and 10 to go. Stampeders ball on the Ottawa Rough Riders 22 on the far side of the field. And if you were here last year when the Argos and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers played, it's in a similar spot to where that very controversial forward pass off kick formation took place. Here's the shift. The line is playing in close. There's the man in motion going over to the right. He's going fast. It's to Spaeth. It's going to be a pass again. He's back on the 30s looking for his receivers. There's the heave. It's intended for Strode over the goal line, and it is incomplete. It was knocked down by Wilf Trombley. Wilf Trombley, a veteran Ottawa backfield star who's noted for his run back on kicks, knocked it down, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go with the Stampeders in a spot to kick for a single point and tie up this whole ball game. This is your Sweet Cap Roll football broadcast from Varsity Stadium. So light up a better than ever Sweet Cap. 3rd down, 10 to go. Spaeth will do the kicking, and it may be in a placement. And it is going to be an attempt placement with Freddie Wilmont doing the kicking from a very bad angle, and the ball will be placed on the 28-yard line from a very sharp angle. There's the snap, there's the kick, and it's an end-over-end ball. It's not reaching the goal line. It drops on the 5, on the 3. It rolls around loosely. It's taken by Trombley, and he's down on the 4-yard line. And there may be a ruling, no yards on the play. That's what it is. The kick receiver not given the necessary yard. A 15-yard penalty against the Stampeders. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and the Stamps failed to tie up the ball game on a placement by Wilmont from a sharp angle on the far side of the field. It didn't reach the goal line. It was taken by Trombley. He was down on the 4-yard line, but it's brought out 15 more yards on account of no yards. It's going to be a pass. Paffrath lets one go, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Bert Haig, but he was well covered by Normie Kwong, who tried to pull it in as well. It'll be 2nd and 10. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ottawa Rough Rider ball deep in their own territory. Score, Ottawa 1, Calgary nothing. Playing in the second quarter. And the Riders are now in the huddle in the shadow of their own goalpost. The ball is on the Rough Riders 16-yard, about 18-yard line. Turner's over the ball for the Riders. There's 2 men in motion, one to the right, one to the left. It's Turner and Carpuck. There's the snap. Goes back to Paffrath. He gets a pass away, and it is good. It's right down the center for a nice gain. Matt Anthony picking that one up and running up to the 40-yard line before he is tackled by Pete Thodas of the Stampeders, and it is a 1st down. If you're giving statistics, you rule that as a 1st down. On a pass that went from Paffrath to Anthony, and it is 1st and 10. Here comes Tony Golab off the field. This is the first time he's been in for a rest this afternoon. Played outstanding ball for the for the Rough Riders, rather. Paffrath in the quarterback slot. It's a direct pass over center, a long lateral on this side to Turner, over to Carpuck. Carpuck goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and he is finally pulled down, but he's called back for being out of touch. It's called back to the Stampeders 45 as he ran out of touch along the sideline. He was walking the tightrope as he was going down there. Going down the left side, he ran out of touch on the Stampeders 45. And so the long run was nullified. But even at that, he picked up about 20 yards on the run.
So it goes back as an incompleted pass. No score in the game. We've had about 11 and a half minutes of play in this. No, we've had 7 and a half minutes of play in this first quarter. And Ottawa are not in the huddle yet. Time has been called out. Now it's back in, and Ottawa are in the huddle. Calgary have made a change or two. Ottawa up on the ball. Don Loney. And Howie Turner's going to kick. He's standing in his own 9-yard line for Ottawa. Deep over at the far side. Gets the ball. Gets the kick away just in time before Calgary gets through, and it's bounding over at the far side of the 45-yard line of Calgary, and a beautiful tackle. Harry Hood took it, but he was downed on a beautiful tackle by John Wagoner, who is a big fellow, and he gets down that field very, very fast. Harry Hood went about 2 yards and was thrown back to the 45, but they placed the ball on the 47-yard line. 10 yards in from the far side. No score in the game yet. Calgary in a huddle. Bob Paffrath is coming off, and Wolf Tremblay has gone in for Ottawa. That's always the exchange for the Rough Riders when they're on defense and offense. Calgary now have Jim Mitchener away over to this side, and Harry Hood is now running over too. He goes back to Keith Spaeth, and he gives it for a plunge, but they run straight into that Ottawa front wall. Paul Rowe carrying the ball, and he is stopped for a gain of only about a yard on the play. There's no score in the game. Len Canavan was there, and Benny Stack, and they stopped Paul Rowe on that attempted plunge almost through the middle of the line. Ball is on the 49-yard line. It was a gain of about 2 yards. It's 2nd and 8 to go for Calgary as they come up on the 49-yard line. Jim Mitchener again away over to this side, and Harry Hood also runs over, and Keith Spaeth gets it, fades back for a forward pass, does a bullet-like pass, and it goes out of the hands of Woody Strode. It was a pass right down the center as Strode cut in, but Steve Carries was there on defense for Ottawa and knocked it down. So it's an incompleted pass. Ball placed again on the Calgary 49-yard line, and it's been a hard-fought football game so far. It's 3rd down now for Calgary, and they have 8 yards to go. They're going to kick. The kicker standing on the 40-yard line. It's Keith Spaeth. The triple threat for the Stampeders gets that kick away beautifully this time. A nice end-over-end taken by Doug Smiley at the 20, running over to this side, and he cuts back in, evades one tackler, he gets another, and he's going back about 4 tacklers right up to the 47-yard line before Keith Spaeth comes over himself, the kicker, and brings him down, aided by Jim Mitchener. A beautiful dodging run by Doug Smiley to run back that kick by Keith Spaeth, and it puts the ball right down in front of us here. We're up on the roof of the covered stand on the west side of Varsity Stadium gridiron. Dave Barry has gone in for Calgary, and Woody Strode has come out. Here's Bob Paffrath in a quarter again for Ottawa, and he gives it on a plunge to Tony Golab, and he puts his head down, and he goes to the 53, 54-yard line before Chuck Anderson comes from his center secondary spot and brings him to a stop. There's no score in the game. We have 6.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. And Ottawa are in the huddle. Eddie Michaels has gone in on the line for Ottawa, and Jerry Lefebvre has come off. It's a unbalanced line to the left. Here we have one play, and it's a it's going running play. Paffrath carries the ball himself, and now he's going back, tosses a long pass, but it's too far into the ground at the 35-yard line intended for Steve Carries. Bob Paffrath, the quarter, almost got trapped, and he ran back very deep over to the side, trying to get that ball away, and he got a long pass away, but he was rushed, and it was into the ground, and Johnny Aguirre and Chick Chakowski were in there, broke through, and rushed Bob Paffrath, almost brought him down for a big loss, but he got away an incompleted pass, and the ball is placed again on the 53-yard line, on Ottawa's 53. Calgary 6-3-2-1. No, 6-3-2-1 on defense. Here we have, it's a kick now. They send another man back, Calgary on defense. Here's the kick by Tony Golab, and he gets a high kick away. Harry Hood is running over for it. He falls trying to get it, and the ball is bouncing over the goal line. And it's right behind the goal line. He falls on it for a single point, Fritzie Hansen. Fritzie Hansen had no chance to get out on that, and it's a single point. The score is Ottawa 1, Calgary no score. The ball bounded between the 5-yard line and the goal line, and it's wiped out. There were no yards given on that. And that's the ruling from the officials, and the score is wiped out. There is still no score in this football game, and Calgary will scrimmage on the 10-yard line. There is no score. The officials ruled no yards given to Fritzie Henson. Henson dropped on the ball about 5 yards behind the goal line. And there is no score in the game. Calgary now up on the ball. Ottawa on defense, and here we have a running play around the right side as he cuts through, and it's Paul Rowe, and he goes to the 16-yard line before he is stopped. Calgary on the 16-yard line now. Ed Michaels was in there to stop Paul Rowe. And we have Dave Barry coming off for Calgary to the Stampeders bench. No score in the game. No score in this game between Ottawa Rough Riders and Calgary Stampeders. Calgary in possession on their own 16-yard line. 4 yards short of a first down. And we have a running play around the right side with Harry Hood carrying the ball, but he's thrown in a touch for a loss. On the play is Matt Anthony. One of the outsides for the Rough Riders was down there and sent him into touch at the far side. So there was no gain on that play at all. Ball placed still on the Calgary 16-yard line, but over closer to the sidelines, 10 yards in. Calgary line up, out of the huddle, up on the ball now. Chuck Anderson is their center or snap, and Keith Spaeth is going to kick. He's standing in his own 7-yard line. Gets an end-over-end kick away, and it's bounding, and it bounds away from Trombley. It's picked up again, and Trombley gets it, bobbles it rather, and hangs onto it right on the 50-yard line, on the Calgary 50-yard line. Bert Iannone was in there for the tackle to stop Wilf Trombley. That ball was taken by Howie Turner, and he flipped it to Trombley. Trombley was waiting for the ball to bounce, but it bounded right over to Turner. Turner flipped it over to Trombley, and Trombley was brought down by Bert Iannone, and it is Ottawa in possession on the Calgary 50-yard line. No score in the game. 4.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Ottawa up on that ball now. 2 men in motion, coming away over to the side. Carries and Turner. And we have the ball given for a plunge through the center for Tony Golab, and he's just bowling over some of the opposition as he goes to the 42-yard line. Chuck Anderson finally getting in there to stop Tony Golab. The golden boy of Eastern football, when he gets rolling, head down, he's a hard man to stop. Anderson brought him to a full stop, 1 yard short of a first down. And it is now on the Calgary 41-yard line. No score, second down, 1 yard to go. And Ottawa have one sleeper away over to the side. And Howie Turner's also coming over, and they plunge through the center for a first down. And there's a pileup of players after that plunge right through the center for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And we have 2 or 3 players of both teams still not up off that field. After that plunge by Bob Paffrath, the quarter, carried the ball right through center, and a quarterback sneak for a first down. And the Ottawa Rough Riders have their turn now to get into Calgary territory, and they're down on the 38-yard line, 10 yards in from the far sideline. Calgary have one safety man back on the 15-yard line. Here's the first play, and it's a short pass intended over the line, but the ball was knocked out of his hand almost. Bob Paffrath, it looked like almost a shovel pass over the center of the line, but it was more or less of a bobble ball as Johnny Aguirre broke through and made him rush that play. So the ball is placed still on that 37-yard line. Paul Rowe is coming to the Calgary bench, and Rod Pantages, one of the Vancouver boys with the Stampeders, has gone in to replace him on the Calgary backfield. Here we have a running play over to this side, and Howie Turner is going to toss a long forward pass, and he does! And it's into the ground at the 15-yard line, intended for Pete Carpuck. But it comes back as an incompleted pass.
You know, a triple threat star is the answer to every coach's dream, where he can run, kick, and pass. Sweet Caps have a trio of outstanding qualities, too. They're cool, they're smooth, they're fragrant. So for tops and smoking satisfaction, ask for Sweet Caps. They're better than ever.
So on 2 plays, Ottawa have failed to get that ball any deeper into Calgary territory. It's third down now, coming up for the Rough Riders, and they're still on the Calgary 37-yard line. Tony Golab is going to kick from the Calgary 46-yard line, and Calgary have 1 safety man back, 2 safety men back, And it is bounding over to Harry Hood and goes almost to the deadline, and it does. Hits his hands and goes right to the deadline into the crowd for a single point for Ottawa. And one of the Calgary players is down on the field. May have had the wind knocked out of him. We'll have to wait and see. The Calgary trainer has gone out onto the field. That's the first point of the football game. First point of the football game. Dave Tomlinson was down, but he's up on his feet now. And he is coming off the field with just a little bit of help. He doesn't want to come off. He wants to stay in that game. And he pushed away from the trainer. He wants to stay in the game, but he is coming off, walking out under his own steam. So the score is 1-0 for Ottawa over Calgary. Norm Carter has gone in to replace Dave Tomlinson. We have little more than 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and the score is Ottawa 1, Calgary no score. Calgary scrimmaging now on their own 25-yard line after that single point that went to the deadline. Jim Mitchener coming over to this side. Calgary up on the ball, closing the spread formation on the wing line. Keith Spaeth gets it and gives it for a plunge, but he runs into a stone wall. Fritzie Hansen as he hits that Ottawa line. It was Eddie Michaels who brought him to a stop. Eddie Michaels, who is playing out there without a helmet. He has not worn a helmet all season playing with the Rough Riders. Takes quite a chance, but he has escaped injury so far. Ball is still on the 25-yard line. No gain on that play. It's 2nd and 10 for the Calgary Stampeders. They close in that spread formation on the wing line. The ball goes to Keith Spaeth, and Spaeth flips it over for a running play to Pantages, and Pantages tries to cut around the right end, but he is brought down before making a first down by Howie Turner, who was in there for the tackle for Ottawa. About 2.25 minutes to go in this first quarter, and it's 3rd down now for Calgary. They're fairly deep in their own territory over at the far side. Keith Spaeth is back, going to kick from his 22-yard line, 10 yards in from the far sideline. Comes to him, a beautiful snap, and he gets it away. Lots of time, and it's a nice spiral. And it's bounding around and bounds past the Pete Carpuck. Carpuck picks it up, running back, and he evades one tackler who makes a terrific dive for him. Another one, too. Back on the 20-yard line, and he comes up to the 27, and 3 players get in there and bring him down. Keith Spaeth being the telling tackler, the final one to bring Carpuck to a stop. Carpuck has run wild on more than one occasion on the Eastern Gridirons this year, and he shook off 3 or 4 tacklers before he was stopped that time on the 30-yard line. No yards were given on the no yards given. That's the signal, and the ball is being placed up to the 50-yard line, right on the 50-yard line, 20 yards in from the far side. That's the penalty handed out against the Calgary Stampeders, who gave no yards to Pete Carpuck when he picked up that kick. Here we have Ottawa now, 1st and 10 on their own 50-yard line. Bob Paffrath in a quarter. Paffrath ready to get that ball on the handback. Gets it, and he flips it over here to Howie Turner, who's coming around. And Turner's trying to cut back in, and he does evade 1 or 2 tacklers, but he's finally bowled over right on the 54-yard line by Jim Mitchener. With Keith Spaeth in there, too. Spaeth is getting in on a lot of the defensive work for the Calgary team this afternoon. The score is Ottawa Rough Riders 1, Calgary Stampeders no score. Anybody's ball game, wide open, lots of thrilling plays, some great runs. Ottawa now, 2nd down, and they have about 5 yards to go. The ball's almost on the center stripe. An unbalanced line to the left. Pete Carpuck running over to the far side. Bob Paffrath gives it for a plunge through center for Ottawa. Tony Golab, and he goes for about 3 yards, placing the ball in Calgary territory before he was stopped by Johnny Aguirre. Calgary send another man back on the safety now, and it is Harry Hood going back to the 10-yard line. He's standing on the 10, and Fritzie Hansen is standing over 5 yards behind the goal line as Tony Golab is going to kick for Ottawa from the Ottawa 47-yard line. They're in kick formation. The outsides are getting down there fast. Golab gets a nice end-over-end kick away. Harry Hood waiting for it in the 5-yard line. Takes it, runs across the field to the far side on the 7, and he's brought down on the 9-yard line on a nice tackle by Howie Turner, who was down there very fast, right on the 10-yard line.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. There's a man in motion. Turner shooting off to the right. He goes to Paffrath. He gives it over here on the left side. Through center, it's Ace Powell crashing over center for 4 yards, possibly 5 when they unpile it. Chuck Anderson backing up the Stampeder line, made the tackle along with Johnny Aguirre. And Bert Iannone had a piece of him, and it is 2nd down and 6 to go. 2nd and 6. The ball is not quite on the Stampeders 40 now. 2nd down, 6 to go. Rough Riders ball. Score is 1-0. Les Lair, coach of the Stampeders, is getting ready to go into the ball game. There's the man in motion to the right again. It's Paffrath taking the pass from center. He cuts in over left middle there, and he's spilled by Anderson, Chuck Anderson, and Bert Iannone. And there is no gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and still 6. 3rd and 6. Les Lair, coach of the Stampeders, is going into the ball game for the first time, replacing Bert Iannone. Iannone, the Stampeders have been using a 5-man line on defense, with Iannone backing up the line along with Anderson. So Lear has gone in that spot. So here's the defensive situation. It's 5-3-2-2. Here's a snap, and it's a fake kick formation. It goes to Turner. He's going to run it. He's trying to pick it up, and he goes on this far side. He's finally pulled down. I don't think they made it. It was Chuck Anderson who made the tackle. It may be close. They may measure this one. That's how close it is. Turner in a fake kick formation. If he made it, he just made it. That's how close this one is. And the linesmen are stretching that old line tape. The officials are calling for those sticks to be brought out to see if he's made it. And we'll tell you in just a moment. This may be a very crucial point in the ball game. It is a 1st down for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And he just made it by inches as Turner took it on a fake kick formation, faded off to his left, and just got the necessary 6 yards on that last sequence of plays. And so it is. 1st down, 10 to go on the Stampeders 35 on this side of the field, right below us. 2 men in motion. Paffrath calling the signals for the Riders. Paffrath gives it over on this left side to Ace Powell, who goes over center for not very far. And it was Anderson and Lear who made the tackle. It was a gain of 3 yards on the play. And Norm Hill also getting a piece of Powell. And it is 2nd down and 7 to go. 2nd and 7. The Riders in possession in Calgary territory. And having a chance to kick for another single point. They lead by a score of 1-0 on Tony Golab's kick to the deadline in the first quarter. 2 men in motion on to the far side. It goes to Paffrath again. He's fading back. It's either a pass or run. He's going to run with it. He's looking for somebody to receive. He goes for 5 yards, 10, 15, and he's spilled after a run of 13, about 18 yards by Anderson again for a 1st down for the Ottawa Rough Riders, carrying the play to the Stampeders' 24-yard line. Paffrath on a run or pass play, picking up a 1st down. It is 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the Stampeders 23. Score, Ottawa 1, Calgary nothing, playing in the 2nd quarter. It's on the far side of the field now. The play is on the far side of the field, and the Rough Riders are getting close to that pay dirt. There's a fumble in the backfield, a scramble for that ball. It was fumbled by Pete Karpuk on a play over center, and players of both clubs are milling around to see who's got that apple, because this could be another turning point in the ball game. Earlier in this quarter, you may remember that the Stampeders recovered a bad lateral pass, and it is recovered by the Stampeders. It's recovered by the Stampeders. Norm Hill getting his 2nd loose ball of the afternoon, and almost the identical spot as he got his 1st one, ironically enough. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Calgary on their own 22. And once again, loose ball handling by the Ottawa Rough Riders has cost them chance to score. Spaeth in the quarterback slot. Gives it over here on this far side to Thotis, who hurls the line. He goes for 5, 10, 15 before he's down. Bob Paffrath. Bob Paffrath making the tackle. Petey Thotis of the Stampeders hurtling over the Ottawa line and going for about a 16-yard gain on the play. It's 1st and 10 for the Stampeders. The play is on just about the Stampeders' 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for the red and white squad from the west. It's a handoff to Harry Hood, and he's held on the line of scrimmage. There was no gain on the play. There was a horn on the play, and it is Ottawa offside on that last play. That'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Ottawa Rough Riders for offside. It'll be first down and 5 to go. 1st and 5. Anderson is out of the ball game. That is Chuck Anderson. Heavy center for the Stampeders. That's the first time he's been on the sidelines this afternoon. It's first down and 5 to go. 5-yard penalty charged against the Ottawa Rough Riders for offside on the last play. For Western fans, here's something we haven't seen in Western Canada for a long, long time. A lineman or a football player without a helmet. That's Michaels playing in the Ottawa line. Brother, that's tough. Space in the quarterback spot. There's Thotis, man in motion. He's fading back to do the passing. He lets one go to Strode, and it is good. Strode goes for close to a first down before he's spilled by Don Loney, center for the Riders. It is a first down, well over the necessary yard, bringing the ball to the midfield stripe. And now play is in the Ottawa territory by a couple of yards. The Stampeders moving from their own 22 up to midfield. 50 on the Rough Riders, 53. It's Spaeth again. He lets go a lateral over to Chikchikowski. A lateral out the far side to Thotis. He cuts in fast, 5-10, and it is a first down. Thotis going for 13 yards on a pass from Spaeth to Chikowski, and a lateral to Thotis around the left side, and the Stampeders are on the march. Don Loney and Ace Powell finally stopping Thotis after the run. It is 1st and 10. And the ball is now on the Ottawa Rough Riders 40, right on the 40-yard stripe. It's a downfield march that the Stampeders have put together in the last few moments of this second quarter. The score is 1-0 in Ottawa favor, and the Stampeders are moving down to where they can tie up the ball game or possibly even go to the front. A man in motion again. It's Thotis running off to his right. Both clubs are using the T formation. It's Spaeth. A pass play. It goes to Thotis. He cuts in fast, and he is down. He is down by Don Loney again, and this may be a first down. We'll wait for those officials to call it. It's so close. It was close to a gain of 10 yards. It's less than a yard to go. 2nd down and less than 1. And the ball is now on the Rough Riders 30-yard line, just tipping the 30-yard stripe. 1-0 is the score. Ottawa leading, and it is a quarterback sneak by Keith Spaeth, and he picks up the necessary yard and a couple to go with it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Stampeders.
A properly executed scoring play is a fine example of teamwork between the blockers and the ball carriers. And it's teamwork and manufacture that makes Sweet Caps score with discriminating smokers. Good as they've always been, Sweet Cap rolled cigarettes are better than ever.
And so it is 1st and 10. Stampeders ball on the Ottawa Rough Riders 27. Moving close to pay dirt, and the scene of action is switched from one end of the field to the other. There's the man in motion again. It's Thotis, and it's going to be a pass. It's Spaeth. He's trying to get away, and he's tackled from behind. And he's thrown for a loss. Spaeth was so surprised on that play, he never knew where he came from. It was Brian Lynch, a former Winnipeg boy, playing right end with the Ottawa Rough Riders, cut in there and spilled Spaeth for a 10-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 20. 2nd and 20 on the Ottawa Rough Riders 37. Approximately 37-yard line. Lynch really came in from that right end spot. He wasn't blocked out on the play. Spaeth had his back to him, and he really took him out. It's Hood moving over to the left for the man in motion again. It's Spaeth fading back. It's going to be a pass. Lynch is going through, trying to get him this time, but he couldn't get him, and it's a pass right down the center. Taken by Berry. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, so it'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and 12 to go, maybe 13. 3rd and 13. Matt Anthony made the tackle on the passer, and the Stampeders are in the huddle, and if Spaeth can boot it that far, they may tie up the ball game with a single point. It's a 2nd down, 2nd down instead of the 3rd. 2nd down. It's Spaeth again. He's fading back this time, and he's surrounded, and he can't get away. He's pulled down on the 44-yard line as the Calgary line is beginning to crack, and Johnny Wagner made the tackle, and on 3 passing attempts, Spaeth has been spilled well back. And it is the Ottawa Rough Riders gaining possession as the Stampeders fail to make the necessary 10 yards on the 3 attempts. And Ottawa Rough Riders gain possession on their own 43. And so, once again, the Breaks have played a major part of this ball game this afternoon. Twice Ottawa have been within striking distance, and the Stampeders twice. And It's given to Tony Golab, who crashes over center, and he keeps right on going for 15 yards, right down the middle. Tony Golab going down the middle, stopped by Rod Pantages, who made a nice tackle along with Pete Thotis, and it is a 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders at midfield. On the Stampeders, 53. Boy, what a ball game this has been. It's been a tough ball game for those players. They're giving everything they've got. And why shouldn't they? This is the final. This is the big one. There's no second choice in this one. You either win or you don't. And both clubs are primed and geared for this one. It goes to Pathrath. Pathrath on a handoff to Doug Smiley over right middle. And there's a gain of 3 on the play. Bert Iannone is getting ready to go in. Be 2nd down and 7. 2nd and 7. 2nd down, 7 to go. Dave Tomlinson was in on the tackle after they unpiled that horde of ball players. 2nd down, 7 to go. And the ball is now on the Stampeders 50-yard line, right on the 50. Turner over the ball for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Pathrath in the quarterback slot. A handoff on the far side. It's given to Tony Golab, who goes over right tackle and picks up another 4 before he's stopped by Johnny Aguirre. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and about 2. 3rd down, about 2 on the play. The officials giving it 3rd down, and the ball is now on the Stampeders' 46-yard line with the Ottawa Rough Riders in possession. 3rd down and 2 to go. Dave Tomlinson is coming off the field. He was injured early in the first quarter, but went back in, not badly injured, shaken up a bit. The score, Ottawa Rough Riders 1, Calgary Stampeders nothing. Turner is back to do the kicking, standing on the 55-yard stripe, which is center field. One end is playing very wide, and it's Turner again on a pass or run. He's going to run it. He's running this side. He's trying to cut in, and I think he's down for a loss. Woody Strode, playing defensive end for one of the first times this year, made the tackle on Turner on a pass or run play, and Calgary gained possession as the Ottawa Rough Riders failed to gain 10 yards in 3 attempts. And that's how it's been going all afternoon, with the Riders still leading by 1-0 after Tony Golab's kick to the deadline in the first quarter. Calgary Stampeders 1st and 10 on their own 46-yard line. Right below our Sweet Caprell broadcasting booth. He got a swell view of this ball game this afternoon. You know, a lot of people paid to get in this ball game, a lot of them. We came in here to broadcast, and we got the choice seats. It's pretty nice. And it goes over on the far side. It's given to Pantages. Over left middle or left tackle as you wish. And it's a gain of 5 before he is pulled into the dirt by Matt Anthony. Matt Anthony and Donnie Loney. Don Loney backing up the line on defense for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Johnny Aguirre coming out of the ball game for the first time today. Aguirre, one of the Calgary Stampeders United States imports, played with the Honolulu Warriors last year and was named on the All-Star, Western All-Star squad this season. 2nd down, 5 to go. Here we go. And it goes to Spaeth. He's fading back to pass. He lets it go to Hood. Hood pulls it down for a 1st down. Hood pulls it in for a 1st down, a gain of 8 yards on the play. And the Stampeders have moved the ball up to the Ottawa Rough Riders 51. Ottawa 1, Calgary Stampeders nothing. Playing in the second quarter of a tight ball game, as the score certainly indicates. We have 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Ottawa leading by a single point. 1-0 is the score. 1st down, 10 to go. Calgary ball on the Ottawa Rough Riders 51. Spaeth has it in the center. He's fading back to get the pass away. He lets it go, and it's incomplete. It's knocked down, and there's a horn on the play, and I believe they're ruling it complete for interference. Johnny Michaels, the big lineman for the Ottawa Rough Riders. And the officials have called timeout as they discuss this one, and it is 1st down. 1st down for the Stampeders on the Ottawa Rough Riders 47-yard line. Stamps in the huddle now, getting close to a spot to kick for a single and tying point. And the game is seesawed from one end of the field to the other. There's Anderson over the ball. It goes to Spaeth. Spaeth hands it out to Pantages, and he's pulled down by the right end of the Ottawa Rough Riders. It's Matt Anthony making the tackle for a gain of 2 yards on the play. Pantages going for 2. He's stopped by by Anthony, playing right end or right outside wing for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It'll be 2nd down and 8 to go. 2nd and 8. 2 yards was the gain of Pantages on that last play. The ball is right on the Ottawa Rough Riders 45 on this side of the field, about 20 yards in from the sideline. Score, Ottawa 1, Calgary nothing. Boy, there's a capacity crowd here today, and what a ball game they're seeing. They really are. This is the #1 sports spectacle in Canada. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Space is back to pass. He lets it go. It's a long one. It goes to Strode, and he takes it right on the sideline. Strode gathered that one in on the Ottawa Rough Riders 14-yard line as he was surrounded by tacklers from the Ottawa Rough Riders. Wow, what a ball catch that was. Spaeth dropped that one into Strode's mitts right on the sidelines, and it's moved the ball down to the Ottawa Rough Riders 14-yard line, with the Stampeders threatening to tie up or even go ahead in this ball game. The flag is up. There's a long sleeper pass. It's intended on the far side. It is good, and it is a touchdown. And it's a bobble, but he gets it again. Norm Hill gathered that one in as the Stampeders go to the front, 5-1. Well, we haven't seen the sleeper play pulled for a long, long time, but we saw it pulled this afternoon as Norm Hill, playing left end for the Stampeders on the far side of the field. And the Ottawa Rough Riders were well sucked in on this side. Spaeth drilled one over the goal line, and all Hill had to do was to catch it. Here comes the convert. There's the snap, and the convert is good by Wilmot. And the score is Calgary Stampeders 6, Ottawa Rough Riders 1, and the ball game has changed around completely now. Yes, sir, we're getting a lot of dazzling football thrills this afternoon. I was going to tell you about that touchdown again. Hill gathered it in over the goal line. He picked it off, bobbled it momentarily, but as the ball went up into the air, he pulled it down again, and he made 2 catches on one play, if you can call it 2 catches. And that's the one. The Calgary fans are on the far side of the stadium from our broadcasting booth, and brother, are they whooping it up, which is only natural. But this is a long way to go. We still got a full half and 1 minute in the second quarter before this ball game is over, and anything can happen. Yes, we've seen these East-West finals since '41, and even when the West have been knocked off by scores of 35-0, we've always had a lot of football thrills, and today is certainly no exception, as both ball clubs are playing a hard-hitting game. Pete Thotis is kicking off. The Riders receive. There's the kick. It's an end-over-end ball going down on the 10-yard line. He comes up to the 5. It's taken by Krapuck up to the 10, the 15, the 25, the 30, and he's pulled down on the 35, on the 35-yard line. Pete Karpuck running the kickoff to the 35, 38-yard line. He was tackled by Woody Strode, and it is 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and now they have possession of that oval ball that means so much to a ball team. Direction on the 41-yard line. We have Hal Walker of the Toronto Globe and Mail sports staff up here spotting for us this afternoon. There's a long lateral out to Turner. Turner's on a runner pass play. Lets one go. It's a long one. It's going out there on the far side. There's nobody home. It was intended for Pete Karpuck. He couldn't reach it. Chick Chikowski was along as a pass defense man, and Pete Karpuck couldn't reach it. It's a grounded ball, incompleted pass. It'll be 2nd and 10. The Riders now, with time running out in this second quarter, will possibly open up and gamble a little. Turner there on a runner pass play. Let one go the far side. Intended for Karpuck. Incomplete. 2nd down, 10 to go. Less than a minute to play in this second quarter, and the score is Calgary Stampeders 6, Ottawa Rough Riders 1. This is the Dominion football final, played in Varsity Stadium. Halfrath in the quarterback slot. Goes into it. Hand off to Turner. Turner fading back to do the passing. It's down this far side, and it is knocked down. It is knocked down. It was for Bert Haig, left end of the Rough Riders, and he was well tagged by Hood and Thotis and Rod Pantages, and it's an incompleted pass. It'll be 3rd and 10. And we have 9 seconds to go in this first half. Don't forget to stay with us for the Sweet Capital football broadcast at halftime, when many of Canada's leading football officials will be heard on the air here, and then of course we'll be back to call the 3rd and 4th quarters with you. Wes McKnight taking the 3rd quarter. And time has run out. There's the last play of this half. And the Riders naturally are going to run with the ball. This is one that they may pull off. It goes to Turner. Turner fading on the far side. He pulls the trigger on a long one. And it is knocked down. Incomplete. And it was knocked down. Incomplete by Hood. It was intended for Trombley as the first half comes to a conclusion with the score, Calgary Stampeders 6, Ottawa Rough Riders 1 at the end of the first half of this ball game this afternoon in Varsity Stadium.
In just a moment, we'll have facts and figures on that exciting first half. We can also give you plenty of facts and figures regarding Sweet Cap cigarettes. We can tell you of the host of discriminating smokers who prefer that better-than-ever brand. We can tell you how every operation in the manufacture of Sweet Caps is checked and double-checked to assure you the utmost in smoking enjoyment. But you don't need facts and figures to prove Sweet Caps' all-round goodness. The next time you're out of cigarettes, ask for a package of Sweet Caps and try them yourself. Long before you finish that first package, we know you'll be thoroughly convinced, just as countless others have been, that, good as they always were, Sweet Caps are better than ever. They're produced by the same sort of teamwork that makes a winning football combination. So with cigarettes, to always be a winner, ask for better-than-ever Sweet Caps and insist on getting what you ask for. Before our commentators take over, let's have the station men take over as we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dominion Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
CFRB, Toronto.
I'd say that the difference was the ball handling of the two teams. The Calgary Stampeders are the surest bunch of ball handlers that I have looked at all season. The Ottawa Rough Riders fumbles came at bad times, and that just about made the difference. That sleeper play was a dandy, as well as that great catch by Woody Strode to put Calgary into a payoff position. Now the Calgary Stampeders are going to the south end of the field to our right, and the Ottawa Rough Riders to the north end to our left. And Ottawa will kick off. Calgary will receive. Ball is being placed on the 45-yard line by Ottawa. Wilf Tremblay will kick off. Calgary are lined up. 7, 2, 3. 3 men deep. And we'll have the kickoff by Tremblay. Here's the kick, and it's a beautiful end-over-end kick taken by Paul Rowe. Runs it up to the 20, to the 25, and he's hit hard and goes to the 30-yard line, right down midfield before he's stopped by Steve Carries. Paul Rowe just put his head down. Two very similar types of ball players out there today, Paul Rowe and Tony Golab, and they are terrific plungers. Paul Rowe, of course, the scoring champion in the Western Conference this year. That was a nice run back by Paul Rowe. He took that kickoff by Wilf Tremblay at about the 8-yard line, and he ran it well up, but there was a penalty handed out. Illegal interference against Calgary. And it's Ottawa ball. Illegal interference against Calgary, and it's Ottawa ball on the 45-yard line, on the Calgary 45, 10 yards in from the far touchline. As this second half gets underway, Calgary 6, Ottawa 1. Ottawa up on the ball. One man in motion coming away over to this side. It's Howie Turner. The ball is given to Golab for a plunge through center, and he's crawling a bit. We'll have to see where they mark that ball. It was a gain of 4 or 5 yards, a gain of 4 yards to the 41-yard line. Score is 6-1. Johnny Aguirre got in there to stop Tony Golab. It's 2nd and 6 to go for Ottawa as they come up on the ball, an unbalanced line to the right. Bob Paffrath in at quarter. And we have the ball handed for a run down on the left side by Howie Turner, and he's finally sent it a touch over at about the 32-yard line by Harry Hood, who got over there very, very fast. But it is a first down. It's a first down for Ottawa. The Rough Riders are coming all out in this third quarter to try and get back into the ball game. They trailed 6-1. The Calgary Stampeders took a well-earned 6-1 margin in that first half. And now Ottawa are battling to try and get back in there. Bob Paffrath at quarter. Tony Golab comes over to this side, to the flanker. And there we have a play through the right end of the Calgary line. Howie Turner carrying the ball, but it went for a very small gain. And the ball is right on the 30-yard line. And the Calgary 30, 10 yards in from the sidelines. Woody Strode and Paul Rowe were in there to stop Howie Turner that time. So it's Ottawa, 2nd and 8 to go on the Calgary 30-yard line. 2 men in motion. They come to a stop, and here's the play, and it's a running play around here. Bob Paffrath carrying the ball, trying to get away. He flips it over to Howie Turner. And he bowls over a couple of tacklers and gets down himself on the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 5 yards on the play. Ball is 10 yards in from this sideline. Howie Turner hurdled over one Calgary tackler, but then he was bowled over himself on the 25-yard line by Keith Spaeth. Keith Spaeth in there for that tackle. And now we have Calgary with 2 safety men. Harry Hood on the 3-yard line, and Ced Giles about 5 yards behind the goal line. Ottawa come up on the ball. An unbalanced line to the left. Single wing to the left. And a sleeper away over at the far side. And it's Howie Turner faking a kick. And he throws a pass, and it's good. Beautiful catch on the 13-yard line by Matt Anthony, the end or outside wing who cut in from the right and cut in, and the pass went down over center to the 12-yard line. Howie Turner faked a kick and threw that ball to Matt Anthony, and it's first down for Ottawa on the Calgary 12-yard line. Bert Iannone was there to stop Matt Anthony. It's 1st and 10 for Ottawa, and the Ottawa fans have a chance to root now. Calgary have had the first half, and here's the play, and it's given for a plunge to Tony Golab, and he goes to the 9-yard line, and there may have been a fumble. There's a pile-up of players down there. We'll have to wait and see. Ball is placed on the 9-yard line. Ball is on the 9-yard line, and it's Ottawa's ball. Chuck Anderson was in there to stop Tony Golab as he cut through the right end of the Calgary line. It's Ottawa on the 9-yard line. 9 yards out, right in front of the goalpost. Ottawa trails 6-1. Calgary have a 5-point margin. Ottawa are pressing now. They come up with a spread wing line. And the ball is snapped back. Paffrath has it. He flips it over to Doug Smiley, and Smiley is weaving and dodging, and he goes to about the 6-yard line. Over at the far side before he is stopped by Johnny Aguirre in there, along with Bert Iannone. And the ball is right on the 6-yard line. It's 3rd down for Ottawa. They trail by 5 points. They may gamble. They're on the 6-yard line. Ottawa in the huddle. Calgary lining up on defense. They have 2 men, Harry Hood and Ced Giles, playing about 10 yards behind the goal line, and Ottawa going to gamble. Bob Paffrath gets the ball, puts his head down, and he bowls his way to about the 1-yard line, and it looks as if it might be a first down, but we'll have to wait and see. It's an important one, whether it's a first down or not. Ottawa, Bob Paffrath tried a quarterback sneak, went right through, and it may or may not be a first down. They will likely measure this. Bert Iannone was in there to try and stop Paffrath, but it was almost like a wedge going through there. They're bringing out the yardsticks to measure whether it is Ottawa or Calgary in possession on the 1-yard line. It's an important one, and it is a first down. It's a first down for Ottawa. And now that Calgary Stampeder line that has been playing so well will really have to stiffen here as Ottawa have the ball on the 1-yard line. They come out of the huddle, up on that ball. An unbalanced line to the right. Ball is given one man in motion coming over the side. Paffrath goes and pushes, and he's over. Paffrath! Bob Paffrath took it again, put his head down on a quarterback sneak and went right through, and that ties up the ball game. Calgary 6, Ottawa 6. And what a thrilling East-West Classic this is turning out to be. It's anybody's ball game. Now we'll have Ottawa try for the convert to take the lead again if they get it. If they don't, it's a tied ball game. Eric Chipper, who has created quite a record at converts and placements this year, is going to try it. Ball will be placed on the 12-yard line. This is a snap. Chipper kicks, and it's good. And Ottawa have taken the lead by 1 point now in this seesaw ball game. Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. On their own 48-yard line, they come up on the ball in kick formation. Tony Golab in the kicker's spot on his own 39-yard line. Golab gets it, gets the kick away nicely. It's a high end-over-end kick taken by Harry Hood, and he's at the 25 up to the 30 to the 34 before he is sent a touch at the far side by Matt Anthony. Sun is shining on the fans in the bleachers at the far side. Comes out momentarily, then goes in behind some of the many clouds that are hovering above. Calgary now in possession, 1st and 10 on their own 34-yard line. Over at the far side, and Bob Paffrath comes off. Wilf Tremblay goes into the safety spot for Ottawa on defense. Calgary have Jim Michener coming away over to this side again. Wide flanker. Calgary close in the spread formation on that wing line. The ball goes to Keith Spaeth, and Spaeth gives it for a run to Seth Giles. And Giles is stopped at the 40-yard line, right on the 40-yard line, just inside the touchline. Ball is brought in 10 yards in, and it is Calgary second down and 4 yards to go. Don Loney was in there along with Matt Anthony to send that Calgary player into touch at the far side. Here come Calgary up on the ball, second down, 4 yards to go. And it's a attempted plunge. No, it's a running play by Giles again, but he is close to the touchline and is sent in. It may be a first down. Yes, it looks like a first down right up to the 45-yard line. And the score is 7-6. Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Don Loney was there to send him into touch, but not before he likely made a first down. It is a first down for Calgary Stampeders. And they're in the huddle. Calgary in the huddle. Ottawa lining up 6-3-2-1 on defense. Wilf Tremblay in the safety spot, and he's moving back. Jim Michener running again over here for Calgary. They play a wide flanker, and Carpuck is coming over for Ottawa to watch him. And Harry Hood is on the run over to this side now. The ball is snapped back. Keith gives it for a plunge through center by Paul Rowe, but Rowe is held to a gain of 3 yards on that play, advancing the ball to the 43-yard line. Ed Michaels was there to stop Paul Rowe. Calgary in a huddle now. Coming out of it as their flanker comes over here. Flanker, or flying wing as we call it in eastern Canada. Goes in that spread formation on the wing line. Calgary, Harry Hood on the motion way over here. Keith Spaeth fading back for a forward pass intended for Harry Hood, and it's short and into the ground. Golab had a good chance to intercept it, but he slipped just as he turned to stop the ball and went down. It's an incompleted pass.
A Grey Cup final is tops in Canadian gridiron events. Just as sweet caps are tops among cigarettes. Tops in coolness, smoothness, and fragrance. Smoke sweet caps once, and you'll always be a sweet cap fan.
It's third down for the Calgary Stampeders. Keith Spaeth is going to kick, standing on his own 40-yard line. There's the snap. It's nice and high. Gets it away nicely as the Ottawa tacklers know it's a bad kick. It started out and went over to the far side into the stands. The Ottawa tacklers were through in a hurry, but they went right past him. But Spaeth kicked it into the stands at the far side, and now the spectators over there are trying to hang on to that football. Calgary rooters over there trying to hang on to that football. You notice that the Calgary officials were trying to get a rule put into the game here this afternoon that several footballs will be used if the ball got muddy. That the rule was not put in, but Calgary fans over there are going to make sure that we get a new football, and there goes one out. Wilf Tremblay comes off, and Bob Paffrath is in for Ottawa now. Ball is on the 50-yard line of Ottawa. That's where it went, in a touch at the far side. Ottawa up on the ball, Don Loney the snap, and they have two men coming over to this side. Turner and Joe Esquini. And here's a long lateral over to Turner. Turner's going to toss it forward from it, and he tosses a long one intended for a goal, but he can't get near it. And with Brian Lynch also there trying to receive it, but it was too far and goes into the ground. It went into the ground at the 20-yard line, and is back as an incompleted pass. And we have 3 minutes to go in this third quarter with the score Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Ottawa come back for a second down to their own 50-yard line, 10 yards in from the far side. Calgary players going over now, getting into defensive formation. Chuck Anderson in the center secondary spot, and he's been a tower of strength out there. Ottawa in the huddle. Ball's placed there on the 50-yard line. Ottawa 2nd and 10. Seth Giles in the safety spot, along with Harry Hood for Calgary. They're watching for a possible quick kick here. Ball comes back to Bob Paffrath on a handback. A long lateral over to Turner. Turner fumbles the ball, picks it up, and starts to run with it. And he's cutting down the side, and he cuts back in, evades one or two tacklers, and he goes for a first down to the 41-yard line before he is stopped. He shook off tackler after tackler, but Norm Hill and Chuck Anderson and Les Lear finally brought him to a halt. Nice bit of broken field running there by Howie Turner. He took a long lateral back deep from Bob Paffrath, the quarterback. And he might have been going to toss a forward pass, but by that time it was too late. When he picked the ball up again, he started to run for a first down. Ace Powell has gone into the game, replacing Tony Golab for Ottawa, as we have about 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. The score is 7-6 for Ottawa. Pete Carpuck in motion. Bob Paffrath gives it for a plunge to Howie Turner through the right end of the Calgary line, but he is brought to a stop by Woody Strode and Johnny Aguirre. That plunge was worth just about 5 yards, as the ball is on the 41-yard line. The yard markers over at the far side have been covered up by the spectators, who have crowded out closer to the touchline a bit. Calgary have their safety man back, but the ball is almost fumbled in the backfield, and Howie Turner tosses a forward pass from it, and it's down to Brian Lynch at the 5-yard line, but he can't get it, and it's into the ground, incomplete. Howie Turner fumbled that ball in the backfield, cut over a bit, evaded one or two would-be tacklers, and tossed a long forward down to the 5-yard line, but it was incomplete. Brian Lynch wasn't able to get there, and it's back as an incompleted pass. So the ball is placed again on the 41-yard line of Calgary. Calgary's 41-yard line, 20 yards in from this touchline, and Ottawa are in a huddle. It's their third down. And they come up on the ball in kick formation. Howie Turner going to kick. Turner is standing on his 51-yard line, gets the ball, gets the kick away just in time, and it's a spiral right behind the goal line, taken on the run, up to the 10, to the 12, and he's bowled over. It was Pete Thotis, and he's bowled over on the 10-yard line by Bert Haig, who was down there as the tackler for Ottawa. Ball is right on the 10-yard line with Calgary in possession. Little more than a minute to play. Joe Wright with the 1-minute flag is out up there, but the flag is not up as yet for the third quarter. The score is Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. And we have Les Lear coming out of the ball game, the playing coach of Calgary. Chuck Anderson, who had a very brief rest, has gone back in. And Abby Anderson has gone in. Both Andersons in there for Calgary now. Ball's on the 10-yard line. Ottawa 6-3-1 in defense. Calgary up on the ball. Keith Spaeth, the quarterback, gets the ball and gives it for a plunge. No, it's a run around the right end and up to the 20-yard line, and a touch at the 20 for Paul Rowe, as he tried to skirt around the right end but was sent into touch at the far side. And we're in the final minute of play. The 1-minute flag is up. The final minute for the third quarter. The score is Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Calgary in possession. And the ball is over there on the 20-yard line, and they're going to measure whether or not it's a first down. It's that close. The ball is just over the 20-yard line by inches, and out go the yardsticks to measure whether Calgary have a first down or not. Ottawa players are lined up in defensive formation. Safety man is on the Calgary 50-yard line. They're measuring it now. Officials ruling it is not. It's not a first down. Less than a yard to go for Calgary. Their second down. And we have about 50 seconds of play in this third quarter. Calgary trailing by a single point. Calgary players were coming out of the huddle. That's sent back in. They haven't placed the yardsticks yet. Trying to come out of it again. Now the yardsticks have been placed, and they're officially in the huddle. Game will resume again. Ottawa lined up in defense. Don Loney in the center secondary spot. And we have Jim Mitchener for Calgary running over to the way of this far side as more or less of a sleeper. But Pete Carpuck is over with him. And there's a play through the center of the line by Calgary to the 25-yard line, and it's a first down. Keith Spaeth carried that ball on a quarterback sneak, and he went for a first down to the 25-yard line. About 12 yards in from the far touchline. 7-6 is the score for Ottawa. About 35 seconds to play in this third quarter. Harry Hood is coming to the Calgary bench, and so is Paul Rowe. Harry Hood and Paul Rowe coming for well-deserved rest to the Calgary bench. Calgary trying to put on a drive to get up that field. They trail by a single point in the dying seconds of the third quarter. Here's a play with nice interference for Rod Pantages, and he cuts through the right side of the Ottawa line, but he is brought to a stop before he gets a first down. About 1 yard short. Wolf Tremblay was in there for the tackle for Ottawa. And it is 1 yard short of a first down. The ball almost up to the 35-yard line. The 1 minute flag is still up for the third quarter. Ed Michaels coming to the Ottawa bench, getting his parka on. Mitchener over the far side, this time for Calgary as they're up on the ball. And the ball is given right through the center for a nice run by Pete Thotis, and he goes for a first down and plenty more. As the 1 minute flag is down for the third quarter, that run by Pete Thotis brought him up to the 47-yard line. And the final play of the third quarter. The score is Ottawa 7 and Calgary 6. It was Ace Powell who got in there to stop Pete Thotis, but not before he had gone for a nice run through center. And referees now are measuring the distance before the players change ends for the start of the fourth and final quarter. And this has been a thrilling football game up to date. And with Ottawa leading Calgary by a single point, the Stampeders will really put on a drive in this final quarter, and we can expect a thrilling final 15 minutes of football in the 1948 East-West Classic.
Only 15 minutes left in this East-West tussle for the Grey Cup, and as the teams change ends, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Dominion Network of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
This is CFRB, Toronto.
Not much more left of this game or of the 1948 football season, but there's plenty more smoking enjoyment for those wise enough to ask for better than ever Sweet Caps. Now for the final quarter, here's Sweet Cap play-by-play reporter Jack Wells.
And as we open the fourth and final quarter of this ball game, the score is 7-6 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It was Pete Thotis making a run on that last play there, but there is a penalty here against Calgary. And it's a holding penalty, loss of 10 yards, and so the run was nullified. It'll be second down and 20 yards to go. Second and 20 for the Stampeders. All set to go now. Score Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. The final quarter of this ball game. Capacity crowd at the stadium here in Varsity Stadium in Toronto. And these football fans have seen plenty of action today. Plenty of action. And we've got another 15 minutes of action ready. All right, second down, 20 yards to go. Man in motion, it's Thotis going over to his right. Spaeth calling the signals. He's fading back to do some passing. He gets it away, well back there, but he's thrown for a long loss on the play as he couldn't get his pass away. It was Canavan who made the tackle, driving Spaeth back to his own 25-yard line. And I believe that is the third time this afternoon that Spaeth has been tackled on a passing play of similar nature. So it'll be third down. We'll have to figure out these yardage for you now. It's from the 25. It's third down and a couple of acres to go. First, third down. Keith Spaeth is back to do the kicking. He's standing on his own 15. There's the snap. There's the kick, and it's a high spiral ball. It's a beautiful kick. It goes into the stands, and it'll be Ottawa's ball. As soon as that official gets to the point where it went out of touch, we'll tell it. We'll give it to you. It's on the Ottawa 34-yard line, about the Ottawa 34-yard line. Bring it in 10 yards from the touchline, of course, on the far side of the field. And the score is Ottawa Rough Riders leading the Calgary Stampeders in the National Football Final by a score of 7-6. Both clubs have racked up a touchdown and a convert, and Ottawa are 1 point to the good on Tony Golab's first quarter kick to the deadline. Ottawa first and 10 on the far side of the field on their own 36-yard line, about their own 36. There's a man in motion. Paffrath hands it off to Turner. Turner goes over center, and he picks up 4 yards on the play. He was stopped by Rube Ludwig there, and it'll be second down and about 7. Second and 7. Here comes replacement off. It is Turner coming off. Correction, Ace Powell coming off, rather, for the Rough Riders. That means Tony Golab is back in there. Powell subs for Golab. Second down, about 7 yards to go, far side of the field. Ottawa ball, leading by 1 point. Paffrath has it, hands it off, holds onto it, comes around this way, lets it go a long lateral. It bounces crazily into the dirt, and it's taken by Strode. He's going running down the far sideline to go 5, 10, 15, 20. He tosses over, and it's going to Chakowski. Chakowski is finally pulled down on the 5-yard line, but the ball is being called back by the officials. We didn't know whether they were going to run with it or not, but it is being called back, I believe, to the Ottawa 25-yard line. And it is being ruled down on the 10 now. We'll give it to you just as soon as that is official. All right, the official have moved off, and Calgary retained possession on the Ottawa 10-yard line.
And the ball is being tossed around there now. That was a great drive by the Ottawa Rough Riders after they got possession of the ball when Calgary Stampeders were penalized for illegal interference on the kickoff. Ottawa players coming back now. Some of the white sweaters that the Ottawa players are wearing are getting just a little bit dirty, and we notice an unusual thing down here on the Calgary bench. Some of the Calgary players are wearing Hamilton Tiger parkas. They borrowed some from the Tigers for this afternoon's game. Ottawa are going to kick off. Calgary have elected to receive. Ottawa 7, Calgary 6 is the score, and Wolf Tremblay will do the kicking. 3 men back there in safety position for the Calgary Stampeders. Paul Rowe in the center spot, right in front of the goalpost. Here's the kick, left-footed and it's a bounding ball over at this side, and a very short kick, and it's taken by Keith Spaeth, and he's downed on the 42-yard line, 20 yards in from this touchline. Eric Chipper in there for the tackle. That was a very short kick off to the side by Wolf Tremblay that time. Went right to Keith Spaeth, and Spaeth was down by Eric Chipper. So it's Calgary in possession, and they'll try to put on a drive to regain that lead that they lost a moment ago. They have one man away over to the far side. It is Jim Mitchener, Calgary, the quarterback, Spaeth, and he gives it for a plunge, but he's brought down for a loss by Tony Golab. Harry Hood was brought down for a loss by Tony Golab, who broke right through, and before Hood could get into motion, Golab had him on the ground right on the 40-yard line. A loss of a yard on that play. Don Loney, center secondary for Ottawa, out giving instructions on defense. 6-3-2-1 is the Ottawa defense formation. Here comes Calgary, one man over at the far side, a wide flanker, Jim Mitchener. Keith Spaeth gets it, and he gives it over for a run to Seth Giles, who's running, trying to run around the wide end, gets away from a couple, but is down by 2 Ottawa tacklers right on the 35-yard line. And we have a loss on that play. Howie Turner and Steve Carey's in there for terrific tackles to bring down young Seth Giles as he tried to skirt the right end. Ball's 10 yards in from the far sideline. The score is Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Anybody's ball game. Calgary now in the huddle. They have possession on their own 35-yard line. It's third down, and they have about 17 yards to go, and they're going to kick. Keith Spaeth is standing on his own 25-yard line. Gets the snap. It's a bit high, but gets it away. Oh, it's blocked! It's blocked, and Ottawa are trying to kick it over the goal line. They're going down the field. The ball's bounding, and it's recovered by Calgary. And a beautiful recovery as the ball bounded high in the air on the 5-yard line. To stop a touchdown, Matt Anthony kicked it, trying to get it over the goal line, but as he kicked it, the ball bounded high in the air, and a Calgary player, Jim Mitchener, leaped very high and pulled it down to save a touchdown. There was a play right on the 5-yard line now with Calgary in possession, right in front of the goalposts. Jerry Lefebvre has gone in. Jerry Lefebvre is hurt out there. Had the wind knocked out of him. They're working on him now. And the ball is on the 5-yard line with Calgary in possession.
It's time out while they make repairs to Jerry Lefebvre, and it's time out to suggest you ask for Sweet Cap cigarettes. Once you enjoy Sweet Cap's deep down smoking satisfaction, you'll say, with countless others, Sweet Caps are my choice every time.
And Jerry Lefebvre is coming off now, but he is running. He just had the wind knocked out of him, apparently. Now here come Calgary on their own 5-yard line. They're right in front of the goalposts. And they're Ottawa breaking through, trying to get it. But there's a beautiful pass over to Woody Strode and over to Harry Hood. And Hood is running a touch. A short forward pass over the line, over to the flat a bit, to Woody Strode from Keith Spaeth. And he lateraled to Harry Hood. But Hood was almost on the touch line and was sent into touch. The ball is on the 12-yard line. It was Howie Turner who sent Harry Hood into touch. So Calgary now have the ball on their own 12-yard line. Second down, and about 3 yards to go. Calgary now up on the ball. The ball is snapped back. Here's Spaeth trying a forward again, and it is knocked down by Tony Golab. It was intended for Chick Chikowski, but Tony Golab reached up and batted it down. So it is now third down for Calgary Stampeders on their own 12-yard line. They have 2 yards to go, and it's quite a gamble. The score is Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Keith Spaeth is going to kick from his 4-yard line as the Calgary Stampeders come up in kick formation. He's 10 yards in from the touchline, gets the ball and just gets it away, and it's very high, and it's coming down. Oh, it's going right on the touchline at the 43-yard line. The Calgary 43 taken in the air by Howie Turner. He was right on the touchline. They place the ball on the 43-yard line now, 10 yards in from the far side, and Ottawa are in possession, 1st and 10. Keith Spaeth just got that kick away in time. It was very, very high, but very short. Ottawa now have made a change. Steve Carries is coming to the bench, and so is Wolf Tremblay. Bob Paffrath, of course, has gone in instead of Tremblay to play quarter. Don Loney the snap for Ottawa up on the ball. All-Star Eastern Canada center or snap. Here we have a play right through the left side by Tony Golab, and it goes for a gain of about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 to go for Ottawa. Chuck Anderson at center secondary was up to stop Tony Golab after a 4-yard gain. The ball is on the 39-yard line, went from the 43 to the 39. And Ottawa up on the ball now, unbalanced line to the right. One man in motion coming over to this side, and it is Howie Turner. Ball is back, and it's given for Tony Golab, and he cuts through a hole, and it is a bit short of a first down, I think, as Chuck Anderson got over there very fast to stop Golab. It looked like a big hole for a moment in the left side of the Calgary line, but Chuck Anderson got in there and plugged that gap and stopped Golab. What will likely be short of a first down. They're going to measure. It's that close. Out go the yardsticks to measure this one. The score is Ottawa Rough Riders 7, Calgary Stampeders 6. Anybody's ball game, and the fans here are tense with excitement, and it is not a first down. It is not a first down, about 1 foot short. Les Lear, the coach of the Calgary Stampeders, is getting ready to go into the game as a player again. He was in the second quarter. Ottawa were not in the came out of the huddle, but the official sends them back while they place the yardsticks. They're standing there now in a semi-huddle formation. There's the whistle, and they're up on the ball now. Ottawa, third down, and they have 1 yard to go, and they're going to gamble. They try to push that ball through, and he was pushed back. He was pushed back. They will have to see where they placed that ball. Bob Paffrath, the quarterback, carried the ball on an attempted quarterback sneak to get that 1 foot. But he got through and then was pushed back, but we'll have to see. It's up to the officials where they place that ball, whether Calgary get a first down or Ottawa get a first down. Ottawa players are standing around in sort of a huddle formation, but the yardsticks will have to go out again to see. Ottawa players are in a huddle.
Careful measurement here as the yardsticks go out now. The manufacturers of Sweet Caps carefully measure the quality of the fine tobaccos in your better than ever Sweet Cap.
They're measuring now whether it's a first down for Calgary or a first down for Ottawa. The Ottawa players have gone back into the huddle, and it is a penalty handed out against Calgary. Apparently somebody was talking just a little bit in there. That's the only signal. That looks like the signal from Seymour Wilson. Apparently some of the Calgary players were arguing just a little bit too strongly, and that puts the Ottawa Rough Riders into a possible scoring position again. The score is Ottawa 7, Calgary 6, and Ottawa come up on the ball on the Calgary 16-yard line, right in front of the goalpost. An unbalanced line to the right. One man in motion, Howie Turner coming away over to this side for Ottawa, and we have Doug Smiley starting over, and he turns and stops. And they may have taken too long there. There was a horn on the play. There's a play through the right end of the Calgary line. Yes, Ottawa took too long in putting that play into motion, and they lose a down. Ottawa lost a down. So the ball now is on the 12-yard line, between the 12 and the 13, with Ottawa in possession, and it's their third down. That play counted. Small gain, but it is now Ottawa's third down. They lead 7-6, and they're coming up on the ball here now. They have 7 yards to go for a first down. They may gamble. We don't know. Eric Chipper is going to try a placement. He's been good at it. all season. As we said before, he's going to try a placement. The ball will be on the 20-yard line. There it is. And it is no good, and it's bounding around behind the goal line, and they drop on it for a single point. But there was a horn on the play. Calgary may have been offside on that play. There was a horn. The score is still 7-6 for Ottawa. We'll see what they rule on that one. They were offside. The Calgary players are talking it over with the officials down there now, and a couple of Ottawa players go up and get into the talk. The Ottawa Rough Riders have a choice of taking that single point that they got on that rouge, or of taking the 5 yards, and 5 yards might give them a chance for a first down. They're going to take the 5 yards, and it's just short of a first down. They're going to wipe out that last point. The score is still Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. The ball's on the 7-yard line. 2 yards short of a first down. It's third down over again for Ottawa. 2 yards short, and they're going to gamble again. They have a sleeper over at the far side. Bob Paffrath going to toss the forward pass, and he does it over the line, and it is into the hands of an Ottawa receiver, Matt Anthony, but it was knocked down. Almost into the hands of Matt Anthony, but knocked down, and the score is still 7-6. Ottawa gambled there, and they lost a single point on that gamble, so the ball is brought out to the 25-yard line. We have 7.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. The score, Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Ottawa didn't take that single point. They took a 5-yard penalty and gambled for a major score. Bob Paffrath tried a pass over the line to Anthony, but it was knocked down, incomplete. So Calgary now are in possession on their own 25-yard line. First and 10 for the Stampeders, and they'll try to put on a drive again. They trail by a single point, 7-6. It's anybody's game. Here comes a running play around the right side for Seth Giles, and he cuts back in through the left end of the Ottawa line to the 30, pretty close to the 35-yard line. We'll have to see where they place it. They place it right on, and it's a first down for Calgary. Calgary have a first down on the 35. A nice play by Seth Giles. Before Steve Carey's brought him to a stop, but not before he made a first down. Here we have Jim McMitchener away over to this side again as a sleeper. And Harry Hood is starting to run over now. Karpuk is watching Mitchener, and Woody Strode is trying to pass to Hood, and it went right through Hood's hands as he made a dive for it over in the flat at this side. It's back as an incompleted pass. Keith Spaeth tossed that one, intended for Harry Hood, but it was incomplete. Hood dived for it, went through his hands as he went down, and goes back. So it's the 35-yard line still for the Calgary Stampeders. Second down and 10 yards to go. 7-6 is the score. Calgary in possession. Second and 10 to go on their own 35. They come up on the ball, close in the spread formation on the wing line. The ball is given to Keith Spaeth. Spaeth hands it over for a run to Seth Giles again. Giles tries to cut through the left end of the Ottawa line, but this time Matt Anthony is in there to bring him to a stop. There's a small gain on the play. A good gain of 5 yards. They place that ball right on the 40-yard line. But it is third down for Calgary, and they're on their own 40, 12 yards in from the far touchline. They waste no time at all, come up in kick formation. Keith Spaeth is standing on his own 31-yard line. Calgary kick formation, sort of a semicircle. Here he gets that kick away beautifully. Ottawa were not able to break through it all that time, and it goes to Wilf Tremblay, and Tremblay's trying to get away from some of his tacklers, but he is sent a touch at the far side by Woody Strode. And the ball is going to be placed on the 44-yard line, right on the Ottawa 44. 10 yards in from the far touchline. 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Anybody's game. Ottawa 7, Calgary 6. Ottawa players in a huddle, and they're making some changes, of course. Tremblay comes off. Paffrath goes back in. Benny Steck's coming off. Len Canavan. They're all been replaced out there. Bob Paffrath in at quarterback. Ottawa still in the huddle. Ed Michaels is in there without his helmet. Tony Golab on the backfield, and we have Howie Turner running over to this side, and the ball is given for a plunge through center by Golab, but he is stopped by Bill Puller and thrown back for a gain only of 1 yard on that play. Johnny Aguirre also, and Les Lear, they all get in there and stop Tony Golab as he hit that line and held him to a gain of 1 yard. The ball is right on the 45-yard line, 10 yards in from the far side. And one of the Ottawa players has shaken up a bit, John Wagoner, a big lineman, but he's up on his feet again, had the wind knocked out of him, and going into the huddle. Calgary have one safety man back on the 40-yard line. Ottawa come up on the huddle. 6-3-2-1 is the Calgary defense formation. Bob Paffrath, the quarterback, gets that ball on the hand back, gives it for a plunge to Tony Golab, who's shaking off some tacklers, but he's grabbed right around the ankle on a nice tackle and is brought to a stop. It was Jim Mitchener. Nice tackle as Golab was trying to hit for the open field, but Mitchener had him around the ankle and brought him to a stop. It's third down now for Ottawa. The ball's on the 48-yard line. 6 yards short of a first down for Ottawa, and they're in their own territory.
Now that play, that was a pass play, lateral pass play that went astray for the Riders, and Woody Strode picked it up, and then lateral to Chick Chakowski, who went to the 10, with players of both clubs standing around looking on. Everybody was looking on. And so here we go with the Stampeders on the Ottawa 10-yard line. This may be the break of the ball game. First down, 10 to go. It's an end-around play. It's given to Totis, and he is over for a touchdown. Pete Totis goes over for 5 points. Whether this may be the break of the ball game, some of the fans are getting a little exuberant now, rushing onto the field, and the officials are having a little time, and the score is Calgary 11, Ottawa Rough Riders 7 in this fourth and final quarter, with the game seesawing back and forward as we've tried to describe it for you with the compliments of Sweet Capital cigarettes. Boy, they'll be talking about that play for a long, long time. That was one for the book, as both clubs, both the Stampeders and the Ottawa Rough Riders, let that ball lay loose. It was Strode who finally moved in, picked it up, and somebody says run with it. He started down the sidelines, and when he was with them about 15 yards from the goal line, he lateraled to Chakowski, who took it to the 10, and on the next play, the next running play, it was Thotis on an end around, going over the right tackle for 10 yards, over for a touchdown. And so the score is 11-7 for the Calgary Stampeders, playing in this fourth and final quarter. Wilmot is going to attempt the convert now, and every point counts. There's the snap, and there's the kick, and it is good. It is through the uprights for a single point, and the score is now Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. Well, you should see this demonstration that's going on the far side of the field at this present time. That is the Calgary rooting section, and are they ever rooting?
You know, a triple threat star is the answer to every coach's dream, where he can run, kick, and pass. Sweet Caps have a trio of outstanding qualities, too. They're cool, they're smooth, they're fragrant. So for tops and smoking satisfaction, ask for Sweet Caps. They're better than ever.
Well, we're still talking about that play up on our Sweet Capital broadcasting booth. The boys can't figure it out, how two ball clubs would let a ball roll loose like that in a very important contest of this nature. And it was Strode, as I told you a few moments ago, who finally sensed that maybe that ball was still in place, so he gobbled it up. The lateral, of course, to Turner was a forward pass, and if he'd have picked it up, it would have been illegal as it was, but they'd only been charged with a penalty. As it turned out to be, it cost them a touchdown. So the Stampeders will kick off to the Ottawa Rough Riders. This is the fourth quarter, fourth and what may be the final quarter. We won't say the final quarter. This game could go into overtime. Calgary leading by a score of 12-7 at the present. And Thotis will kick off for the Stampeders. He's getting the mud out of his cleats at the present time. We have a replacement going in for Ottawa. It is Eric Chipper going in at middle, right middle. Timeout has been called, and here goes the ball game again. There's an end-over-end kick. It's going deep down onto the 15. It's taken by turns up to the 20, the 25, up to the 30, up to the 34-yard line. He's still spinning around, and he's finally pulled down. He was driven back by the 30. Doug Smiley, correction on that play. It was Doug Smiley who took that on the dead run on his own 15. He was up to the 30, but was driven back as he was spinning around. It's Ottawa 1st and 10 on their own 30-yard line on the far side of the field, and we're all set to go to see what Ottawa have now in the way of a bag of ground-gaining tricks. Wally Masters, of course, is noted for his deception in the backfield, his speed-laden backfielders, and they're a long way from pay dirt, but they may open up. Let's see what they do. There's Paffrath in the quarterback spot. He gives it to Smiley. Smiley crashes over center, and he goes for 5 yards. Goes for 6 yards. It'll be second down and 6 to go. And there's an injury on that play. An injury on the play. One of the Calgary boys being assisted off the field as he went in to make the tackle on that last running play. And we'll pick it out for you just as soon as, I believe it is Chick Chikowski, is it not? Or Dave Tomlinson, I guess. Dave Tomlinson was shaken up on that last play. He's being replaced by Norm Carter, who's gone in the line. As timeout has been called. The band on the far side, you can possibly hear him entertaining the crowd, although you don't need any entertainment at this East-West final when you got two football clubs like the Calgary Stampeders and the Ottawa Rough Riders performing in such brilliant fashion. We've had a lot of good football out here today, and believe me, if you've never seen this Dominion football final, it's Tomlinson. He's coming out under his own power. Apparently, he hurt his knee on the play, and he's limping slightly, and so his place will be taken by Nick Carter. Tomlinson is a rugged guard for the Stampeders, just a young fella, and he was one of the Western All-Stars. Matter of fact, you can almost call this an All-Star Classic, for both clubs have 7 members of their teams on their respective teams chosen on Eastern or Western All-Star teams. So it's practically an All-Star Classic, as you might say, and these ball clubs are playing as though it is an All-Star Classic. They're really turning it on. Tomlinson is getting a great hand from the crowd here as he limps to the bench, and he's shaking it off. He wants to get back in the ball game, but he'll be on the sidelines for a moment. And so here's the situation. It is second down and about 6 yards to go. There's a man in motion, Ottawa ball. It's Paffrath. He laterals out this far side to Turner. Turner running laterally across the field. He's trying to get through, and he dazzles in there nicely, fumbles the ball, and it is recovered by Calgary. Turner fumbling after he was tackled. It was recovered by Bert Iannone for the Stampeders, and the Ottawa Rough Riders have been notorious for their loose ball handling this afternoon. They bobbled away 3 good chances. They had the ball in the first half of this ball game twice on the Stampeders' 10-yard line when bad fumbles cost them possession, and once again it was a bad fumble that cost them possession at this time. So it is Calgary 1st and 10 on the Ottawa Rough Riders 35. It's given to Thotis, who goes over left tackle and picks up 5 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 5. Second and 5. Second and 5. The score is Calgary 12, Ottawa 7, and Len Canavan made the tackle on Thotis in that last play. Second down, 5 yards to go on the Ottawa 36-yard line. We can't tell you the yardage stripes now because there's so many fans here, they're even blocking off the view. It's a handoff to Harry Hood. Hood over left tackle, and he's pulled down after a short gain of 2. It'll be third down. Pulled down by Tony Golab. Golab filling in there along with Matt Anthony, and it was a 2-yard gain. It'll be second down and 2 to go. Second and 2. Now the Stampeders have possession, and they're leading by a score of 12-7 over the Ottawa Rough Riders, playing in this fourth and what may be the final quarter. But anything can happen in a Dominion football final, as most everything has happened today. Spaeth is dropping back to do the kicking. The ends are playing wide. He's calling for the ball. There's the snap, and there it goes. It's a high spiral ball. It's going deep over to Trombley, over the goal line. He gathers it in on the dodge run. He's on the goal line. He's on the 2-yard line. He's pulled down on the 2. It'll be Ottawa 1st and 10 on their own 2-yard line. Rod Pantage is making the tackle. Trombley getting that ball just over his own goal line, got it out to the 2 before he was stopped by Pantages. And so it is first down, 10 to go for the Ottawa Rough Riders on their own 2-yard line. And they go into a huddle right over their own goal line. The score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. And the fans here are really whooping it up. And the Riders are going to run a play close to that goal line. It's given to Golab, and he's pulled down after a gain of 3 through center. Bob Paffrath on a quarterback sneak, we'll call it. And it'll be second down. Second down and about 7 to go. And there is a penalty on the play against the Calgary Stampeders, and the official is pacing off 15 yards. That could be for roughing or holding, and it is for kicking. Roughing or kicking, and it is a 15-yard penalty charged against the Stampeders, and so it is first and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders on their own 20-yard line. Les Lear, coach of the Stampeders, is getting ready to go into the ball game. There's the man in motion to the right for the... Now he stops. He's in a flanker spot. It's Golab. Paffrath gets it, hands it off to Turner. Turner picking him up and laying him down over left tackle, and he goes for close to a first down. Turner was really galloping that time. He got some good blocking, good interference by Michaels, who opened up the hole, and Turner needed no urging. He was finally pulled down by Keith Spaeth. It'll be second down and maybe less than a yard. Wait till this official moves up those yardsticks to tell just where it is. It's less than a yard to go. It's almost a first down, less than a yard to go. Ottawa in the huddle now, and they're starting to gain momentum as they try to get back into the ball game. They're trailing by 6 full points. It's a lot of points in the ball game. Paffrath on a quarterback. Sneaky hits the center of that line. He may not have made it. We'll see in just a moment. Pile up of players of both clubs, and on the bottom is Michaels and Anderson, and it is a first down. It is a first down for Ottawa on their own 30. Ottawa carrying to the 30 from their own 2, added with a 15-yard penalty. The score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7, playing in the National Football Finals here in Varsity Stadium in Toronto. And there is about 11 minutes of playing time left in this ball game this afternoon. As the man in motion to the right for the Rough Riders. At the handoff goes to Turner. Turner trips on one of his own backfielders, and there's no gain on the play. Turner trips, and he was down on his own line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be second down and 10. Second and 10. Second down, 10 to go for the Ottawa Rough Riders on their own 30-yard line, right on the 30-yard stripe. Riders in the huddle. They're trying to conjure some football tricks to whittle down this lead, and anything may be going in just a moment. Paffrath is calling the signals in the quarterback spot. The handoff goes on this far side to Doug Smiley. Smiley over the left side of the line, left tackle, and off tackle thrust. Picks up about 4. It'll be third down and 6, about 3rd and 6. Now, will the Rough Riders elect to gamble, or are they going to kick? Which is the logical play. We're not calling the signals for them. We're just telling you what's happening down there and possibly doing a little second guessing. The Ottawa Rough Riders, it'll be third down. Third down, and Golab is going to stand on his own 25-yard line to do the kicking. One end is playing very wide, the other very close in. There's the snap. Golab gets it away. It's a high spiral ball. It's coming down to Harry Hood. It bounces in front of him. It bounces out of touch at the Stampeders' 35-yard line, and it's Calgary ball, first and 10 on their own 35. The Golab's kick bounced out of touch on the 35. So it's Stampeders first and 10 on their own 35-yard line, directly below us, directly below where this Sweet Capital football broadcast is emanating. Score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7, in a game that's roared from one end of the field to the other. First one club in the lead and then the other. And the Stamps are trying desperately to win their first Dominion Football Championship. This is the first time they've appeared in the Dominion Finals. This is Ottawa's first time. The last time they were in was in 41. It goes to Spaeth. Spaeth hands it over to Pantages, who goes over center, and he picks up 3 to 4 yards. Stopped by Buck Rogers, center for the Rough Riders, who was backing up the line. Buck Rogers and Johnny Wagona. And it'll be second down, 2nd and 6. Second down, 6 yards to go. Pantages making 4 after the pileup. As the man in motion, is man shot out to the left. It's Jimmy Michener going well out to the left, and he's being covered in case of a sleeper pass, which we had already today. It went for a touchdown. Goes to Pantages. Pantages to Thotis. Thotis trying to find a hole on the right side, and there's no gain on the play as he was stopped right on the line of scrimmage as he tried to find a hole. It was there, but Buck Rogers went in to fill up that hole, and there will be no gain. It'll be third down and 6. Third and 6. Third down and 6 to go for the Stampeders on their own 40-yard line, not quite their 40. So the safety man for the Ottawa Rough Riders are dropping well back, deep into their own territory. It is Trombley and Doug Smiley. Spaeth is doing the kicking, standing on his own 30. There's the snap. He gets it away. It's a low end over end ball. It comes down to Trombley on his 20. He's up to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 35-yard line where he's finally pulled down. About the 40. Up to the 40, gets it up to the 40. This boy Trombley, we were told that on kickoffs, he was really a man that could pick him up and lay him down in a hurry. That's about the first time he's had a run back today, but he was really going. Chuck Anderson finally stopped him on the Ottawa 40-yard line, right on the 40-yard stripe. 20-yard run back on a kick. That eats up a lot of ground. Ottawa's ball, first and 10 on their own 40. Man in motion to the right. It's Golab taking over left tackle, and he spilled for little or no gain on the play by the Calgary left end. Along Les Lear also on the tackle along with Jim Michener. It'll be second down and 9 to go. 2nd and 9. A gain of a yard on Golab's last run. Score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7, playing in the 4th quarter of this ball game. There is about 8 minutes to go. 8 minutes of playing time remaining. Now Ottawa are using a spread formation. They have 2 men away out here onto the left. It's going to be a lateral, a long lateral to Turner. Turner takes it and starts to run, and he just gets going as he's pulled down, and he finally is stopped after what may look like a first down. Boy, this guy Turner's really going. Bert Iannone finally making the tackle. Lear is having words with the officials out there, and it'll be close to a first down. Turner was surrounded. He fell once, got up again, was hit again, but he still went for a first down, I think. We're looking for it here right below us. It's very close to a first down. At any rate, that would bring the ball up to the Ottawa Rough Riders 50-yard line, almost center field. And they're still measuring it here. Seymour Wilson, the head official, said it's not quite a first down, it's less than a first down, so the Riders go back into a huddle again. And Lear is talking to Wilson, the official, as time has been called. As time has been called, it is a first down. They've moved the sticks now. They've sent it down. It's a first down, 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders on their own 50, right close to the sidelines, just 10 yards in from the sidelines, directly below us. Man in motion, it's Golab. He goes up to the line of scrimmage, and it is a long handout to Turner from Paffrath. To Turner, rather, goes 5 up to the 10-yard line. He goes for 10 yards. Another first down, stopped by Chuck Anderson. Turner's really rolling now, and this, I think, will be a first down. And it is a first down. Turner on a handoff from Paffrath around the right side, goes for first down, bringing the ball, moving the ball down into Calgary territory. It is now on the Calgary Stampeders 49-yard line. At midfield, Rube Ludwig is getting ready to go in for the Stamps. Score, Calgary 12-7. It's a handoff to Golab. Golab finds a hole on the left tackle and picks up 4 or 5 yards on the play before he is stopped by the Stampeders secondary, Anderson and Lear, who are backing up the line. It'll be a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Timeout has been called as the Stampeder was injured on that play.
A successful line play requires real teamwork, just as only real teamwork by skilled tobacco men could produce a smoke as enjoyable as you get from Better Than Ever Sweet Caps.
2nd down and 5 to go. 2nd and 5, Ottawa ball on the Calgary 43-yard line. The man in motion is over to the left this time, and the play goes to the other side, but it's Golab who spilled for a long loss. Rube Ludwig on his first play getting in there for the Stampeders through Golab for a loss of 4 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and about 9. 3rd and 9. Ludwig going in from his right guard position, or right middle, went in and took Golab out, and it was a loss in the play, so we have Turner back to do the kicking. The ends are playing, one end is playing very wide. There's the snap, there goes the kick. It's an end-over-end ball coming down to Thodas on his own 3. He's up to the 5. He cuts laterally across the field. He's still on the 5. He's surrounded by tacklers, and he's pulled down on about the Calgary 4-yard line as he couldn't get away. Thodas finally pulled down by Len Canavan on about the Stampeders 4-yard line. Calgary are still leading by a score of 12-7. Calgary Stampeders 12, Ottawa Rough Riders 7, with 6 minutes, a little better than 6 minutes to play in the ball game this afternoon. Time in has been called again, so the Stampeders are deep in their own territory as the Ottawa Rough Riders are striving for the tying points. There's only 6 points separating these clubs. 5 points, 5 points separating these clubs, and a convert and a touchdown, of course, would tie the game, and that convert, if possible, would possibly make it a winning point. So that's how tight it is, and it's an end-around play. Thodas finds a hole, but he is stopped for no gain on the play on the left side. Pete Thodas was held for no gain on the play. Tackle by Len Canavan. It'll be 2nd down and still 10 to go. 2nd and 10. The ball remains on the Stampeders 4-yard line. Deep in their own territory. The Stamps are over their own goal line now in the huddle. 5 points separating these two teams. Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. And they're going to try a running play. There's a man fading off to the far side. Jim Michener playing wide in the flanker spot. The shift is to the left. It's going to be a pass, and it is incomplete. A pass intended for Strode was incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10. Space dropped back to fire that one, but Strode was well covered. He was well covered by Steve Carries, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Ball is still on the Calgary 4-yard line. On 2 plays, they failed to move it. And so Spaeth is dropping well back over his goal line to do the kicking. The ends, Strode and Tchaikovsky are playing very wide, especially Tchaikovsky. There's the snap. And there's the kick, and it's a high spiral ball. It's coming down to Trombley about center. He catches it out of touch, and there is no run back on the play. Spaeth placing that one to almost center. It's on the Calgary Stampeders 48-yard line. It'll be Ottawa 1st and 10 on the Stamps 48. Spaeth kicking from his own, behind his own goal line, getting one away. But saw Trombley taking it out of touch for no run back, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders. 1st and 10, first down, 10 yards to go. Riders ball. Number 77, Turner, is up over the ball for the Ottawa Rough Riders, all Eastern center, or snap. It goes to Paffrath. There's a long forward pass intended out there on the flat to Karpuk, Pete Karpuk, who couldn't reach it. It'll be 2nd down, 10 to go. Incompleted pass. Karpuk was being shadowed by Spaeth, and Paffrath pulling the trigger on that one was too far in front for an incompleted pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Ball remaining, of course, on the Stampeders 48 where that play originated. Rough Riders in the huddle. 5 minutes remaining in this ball game. 5 minutes remaining in this quarter. Play directly below us now. 2 men in motion this time. Paffrath looking over the situation. Takes the ball from center. It's going to be a pass to Runny. Let's go a short pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Joe Esquini, right end for the Riders. Couldn't get it, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 to go. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. Score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. And the Riders are in a huddle. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Ball remaining on the Stampeders 48-yard line. Tony Golab is dropping back to do some kicking here. He'll stand just at center field. There's the snap, and there's the kick. It's an end-over-end ball. It goes out of touch. It's a short kick. And we'll tell you where it goes out just as soon as the official runs up there, and it's on the Stampeders 28-yard line. A short kick by Golab going out of touch on the 28-yard line. So it's Stampeders 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line. Score is Calgary 12, Ottawa 7, and there is 5 minutes to go in this 4th quarter this afternoon. Capacity crowd here at Varsity Stadium in Toronto, witnessing the 1948 football final. Man in motion to the left is Mitchner. Spaeth in the quarterback slot. He gives it to Pantages, who goes over center for a gain of 2 yards before he is tackled by John Wagona and Jerry Lefebvre. Jerry Lefebvre also in. 2nd down and 8 to go. 2 yards on the play. The ball is now on the Calgary Stampeders 30-yard line. On this side of the field, and the Stamps running attack is bogged down in the latter part of this ball game. It's an end-around play. It goes to Thotis. Thotis is surrounded, and he's thrown for a loss. He's thrown for a 5-yard loss by Matt Anthony, left end for the Rough Riders, and Wagoner, who also went in on the tackle, and there was a loss of 5 on the play, so it will be 3rd down and 13 to go. 3rd and 13 after a 2-yard gain on the first running play. Here's a substitution going in. It is Buck Rogers, possibly going in at center for the Rough Riders. He's crouching on the sideline, waiting for the next play. Spaeth is dropping back to his own 15-yard line to do some kicking. There's the snap. There's the kick, and it's a high end-over-end ball. It's coming down to Smiley. Takes it on the dead run on the 40, up to the 45, up to the 50, the 55, and he's moving into territory. He's on the Stampeders 45. He's on the 40, and he was hit hard. Harpak was really traveling on that one. He was hit hard by Norm Hill. Wow, that was a tackle. But that run back carried the play right down to the Stampeders 41-yard line. Pete Karpuk really picking him up and laying him down. So it is 1st down and 10 to go. 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders on the Stampeders 41-yard line. And the Ottawa fans now are calling for their club to get moving. Let's get some points. They want them. It's a handoff to Tony Golab, who goes over left center. And has a gain of 6 on the play. 6-yard gain, stopped by Keith Spaeth. Spaeth making the tackle. Ottawa Rough Riders are trying to move those yardsticks now. Score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. Playing in the 4th quarter. And there is 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this ball game. 3.5 minutes approximately. Rider fans are really shutting it up now. It goes to Paffrath, a long lateral out this side to Turner on a pass. He lets the pass go, and it is intercepted by Harry Hood on the 5, on the 10, the 15, the 20, and he's up to the 28-yard line before he is pulled down. Hood going up and pulled off a pass interception. He was finally stopped by Matt Anthony. And that pulls the Stamps out of a hole as the Ottawa machine was starting to move. It's 1st and 10 for the Stampeders now on their own 28-yard line, on their own 28. Hood pulling off an interception as Turner threw a pass off a lateral play. Spaeth in there calling the signals, and he laterals one out to Hood. Hood going right around the end. He goes for 5. He goes for 7 yards. Before he's down again. And play is finally stopped. Hood scooting around the left side of the line. And there's 3 minutes remaining in this ball game this afternoon. Score, Calgary 12, Ottawa 7. Hood picking up 6 yards around the left end on a handoff, or lateral handoff it should be, from Keith Spaeth, the Stampeder quarterback. Plays on the far side of the field now. Stampeders in a huddle, 2nd down, 5 to go. Man in motion this time is to the right. It's Michener. He's playing wide in the flanker spot. There's the snap. It goes to Hood again. Hood trying to find a hole over center, and he goes for another 3 yards before he's checked by the secondary of the Ottawa Rough Riders. Ed Michaels, the boy who doesn't wear a helmet, stopped Hood after a gain of 1, so it'll be 3rd down and about 3 to go. 3rd and about 3. So we have Trombley and Carpuck back in the safety spots. Spaeth is standing on his own 25 to do the kicking. And there goes the snap. He gets it away. It's a high ball coming down on the 35. It's taken by Trombley. He's on the 40, and he's on the 48-yard line before he is tackled. Trombley running it back to the 48-yard line before he was tackled by Chick Chikowski and Rod Pantages. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ottawa Rough Riders with 2 minutes to go in this ball game, with the Calgary Stampeders leading the Ottawa Rough Riders by a score of 12-7 in a spine-tingling football contest that you've never seen the like of. We don't know whether to watch the football game with some of those fans on the far side of the stadium. They're turning handsprings. It'll be a wild and woolly town tonight. 1st down, 10 to go. Ottawa ball. 2 men in motion, off to the left this time. It goes to Paffrath. He's jumping back to do the passing. He lets one go, and it is complete. It's a dandy. It was taken by Steve Carries. That carries the ball to the Stampeders' 38-yard line, about the 39. That pass went from Paffrath to Carries, and the Ottawa Rough Riders are threatening again with less than 2 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. 1st down, 10 to go. Paffrath pulling the trigger on a pass that was labeled complete from the outset as Carries made the catch. So it's 1st and 10. Ottawa ball. Paffrath back again. It's going to be a pass play, and he's smothered behind the line of scrimmage as he slips and can't get his pass away, and there'll be a loss of 8 yards on that play. Lear and Ludwig tagging Paffrath for a loss of 8 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 18 to go. 2nd and 18. Jim Michener is out of the ball game for the Stamps. 2nd down, 18 yards to go. Freddie Wilmot has gone in for the Stampeders. Rough Riders in a huddle now. And there is 1 minute and 10 seconds to play in this game. Now what are they going to have? It's going to be a long lateral to Turner. Turner on a lateral or run play, pass or run play. Lets it go. It's a dandy. Oh, and Carries all but had it into his mittens. It's ruled as an incompleted pass. That was close. And it'll be 3rd down and 18 to go. 3rd and 18. Turner throwing that ball from about his own 45, and it dropped into the ground on about the Stampeders' 15. It was intended for Golab, couldn't reach it. It's 3rd down. 3rd down and still 18 yards to go. Now the Rough Riders are in a spot. They have 1 minute to play in this ball game, and they're trailing the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 12-7. Now they have 3rd down. Are they going to? The minute flag has just been raised. Are they going to kick? or are they going to gamble? Well, they have Turner back to do the kicking. He may run it. It may be a fake, and it is going to be a fake. It's Turner. He's running laterally across the field. He gets one away on the far side, and it is intercepted by Calgary. It's intercepted by Calgary on the far side as Spaeth went up and pulled that one down, and that all but slows up the ball game. Spaeth pulling that one out of the stratosphere. It was labeled for Tremblay from Turner. Spaeth pulling it in. And with exactly 40 seconds to go, the Calgary Stampeders are leading the Ottawa Senators by a score of 12-7. Ottawa Rough Riders, pardon me. Calgary Stampeders leading the Ottawa Rough Riders by a score of 12-7 with 35 seconds remaining in a football game that has captured the imagination of everybody in Canada. Rather are they going. Stampeders are just 30 seconds away from a Dominion championship at the present time. It goes to Spaeth. Spaeth hangs onto the ball on a quarterback sneak, and he breaks away. He still has it. He's going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards down the field, but I believe the officials have called the play back. Spaeth has the ball well down the field on a quarterback sneak. There is 10 seconds to go. Now we'll wait to see what happens here. One official is down where Spaeth ran with the ball down to the Ottawa Rough Rider 45-yard line, but the ball is being brought back as the play was declared dead after Spaeth had been momentarily stopped on a quarterback sneak. And so it'll be second down and still 10 yards to go. Calgary have possession. And those goalposts aren't going to stand up very long this afternoon, as we can see the fans moving over to them now. Calgary leading the Ottawa Rough Riders by a score of 12-7 in a game that has really had all the thrills of a football contest, anyone that you'd want to have. Spaeth calling the signals again. There's the man in motion. The horn on the play. The horn on the play as the clock reads the game is over. And the game is over with the Calgary Stampeders, the Dominion football champions for 1948, with a 12-7 victory over the Ottawa Rough Riders, Eastern champions. Well, the goalposts are coming down now. The fans are swarming on the field to hail the new Dominion football champions, the Calgary Stampeders, and the Ottawa Rough Riders, who put up such a game display against this Western club this afternoon. There'll be lots to talk about over this football game today, but there's one play that will always stand out in the minds of those who saw this game this afternoon, and that was the play when both clubs literally went to sleep as the ball rolled crazily on the ground, lay loose. Nobody touched it until Strode picked it up and started to gallop down the sidelines with nobody going after him until the Riders finally understood that Strode may be on his way for a touchdown. Well, that play set the stage for the Calgary Stampeders' winning effort this afternoon here at Varsity Stadium with the final score, Calgary Stampeders 12, Ottawa Rough Riders 7. And now, here's Wes McKnight for a few words from our broadcasting booth. Okay, Wes.
Okay, Jack, it's been a pleasure working with you on this broadcast, and what a thriller it really was. Those Calgary Stampeders are just being mobbed out here on Varsity Gridiron now. They're being hoisted up onto the shoulders of enthusiastic fans, and it's really a sight. And believe me, the Calgary Stampeders really earned all the plaudits they're getting and that they're going to get within the next few weeks. They're a great football team, the best bunch of ball handlers that we've seen on any gridiron this year. The Ottawa Rough Riders, on the other hand, battled hard, but they just didn't have it today. They were very loose in their play, and as Jack Wells just said, that one play, that Merkel, will go down in football history as one of the most important plays of this year. But you can't take a thing away from the Calgary Stampeders as they're just being carried to their dressing rooms down below us. They were more alert than the Ottawa Rough Riders today. They had a more varied assortment of plays. And they have today equaled a record in Canadian football. For the second time in history, a team has gone right through to win the Grey Cup without a single defeat all season. Back in 1931, the Montreal Winged Wheelers, led by Warren Stevens' passing arm, did just that. Without a single defeat, they won the Grey Cup, and now the Calgary Stampeders have done that too. And Woody Strode, the boy who picked up that ball on that Merkel play and went down to the 12-yard line, is the center of all the fans out here as he's hoisted high. Every spectator in Varsity Stadium seems to be wanting to shake hands with him, and it's a milling, wild crowd down below as pieces of the goalpost are in it too. And Woody Strode is finally getting into the dressing room as the crowd are swarming around out of the stands onto the field.
Before we get into our final resume of the game from the two commentators, Ken Poss and Tommy Shields, I'd like to remind you that in just a short 4 weeks from today, you'll be opening your Christmas gifts. Now, what more welcome surprise than to find a present of Sweet Cap cigarettes? Sweet Caps, cool, smooth, and fragrant, and better than ever. Well, let's find out what our hometown boys from Calgary and Ottawa thought of the Grey Cup final. Reporting for Ottawa, here's Tommy Shields.
Thank you, Ted. I'll be very brief about this. This has been one of the most wonderful ball games that I think ever played. It certainly was the best ball game I've seen in 20 years of watching football. It was a thrilling game right until the last play of the game, when Spaeth, playing safety, just took the ball and froze it. The last two plays of the game, that's what he did after making an interception on a Rough Rider desperation pass for a touchdown from which a tied score might have resulted. The game is over and Calgary has won it by a score of 12-7. Now, just a brief review of the play. In the third quarter, at 3 minutes and 10 seconds, the Rough Riders struck for a touchdown and converted by Chipper, scored by Paffrath, converted by Chipper, and they went in front 7-6. And then the Ottawa team settled down to play the kind of football they had been showing all season. They seem to have Calgary tamed, and they seem to be on top of the Calgary team until, with minutes to go in the quarter, just as they turned over for the fourth quarter, and the Ottawa team still holding the upper hand apparently, and on the play along the ground, this play that has been so described for you by Jack Wells took place. Paffrath lateral to his left. It was an offside pass or a forward pass. A horn went on the play, and the Carpuck, for whom the pass was intended, made no effort to recover the ball. It was picked up by Big Woody Strode, run into the Ottawa, deep into the Ottawa end. He transferred it to Jim Mitchner there, and that was the ball game. Calgary went over for a converted touchdown, made it 12-7, and from then on, it was just a case of Calgary holding off the Ottawa attack. In the dying moments of the game, the Rough Riders 3 times marched deep into the Calgary territory, were held there, had to boot, took the return kicks as Spaeth kicked out of danger, and then came roaring back in again. And this big crowd of over 20,000, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,500 here this afternoon, just sat here breathless. Nobody moved from a seat until the final play of the game. On the third last play of the game, Bob Paffrath handed off to Turner. Turner faded back and threw a pass over the Calgary left end deep into their territory down to their 10-yard line. Trombley was the potential receiver, and he went down there, but Spaeth made the interception and killed it off. Now, that's all there was to the ball game, and just before I leave the air, I would like, on behalf of Eastern Canada, to extend the heartiest possible congratulations to these very worthy champions, the Calgary Stampeders. And when I ask Eastern Canada to extend their congratulations, I don't think I am out of order if I ask the entire Dominion of Canada to properly acclaim these very worthy Canadian champions for 1948, the Calgary Stampeders, a fine football team.
And now to speak for the city and team that won the Dominion Championship, hats off to the champions in Calgary, and from Calgary, here's Ken Foss.
Thanks, Ted. Well, statistics are one thing in a football game that usually we have right at the end to tell you exactly what happened. But the statistics that everyone across Canada are interested in are the statistics on the scoreboard. Calgary 12, Ottawa Rough Riders 7. One of the best football games will go down into the record books of Canadian football history as being played November 27th, 1948 in the city of Toronto at Varsity Stadium. The Calgary Stampeder football team, for those of you in Calgary and on our tour back home in the West, will be leaving here on Sunday night and we'll get back into Calgary on Wednesday morning. Now, folks, we can go out and we can say lots of nice things about our football team. I've traveled with the boys all year, seen them go now to 16 undefeated football contests. That's a lot of football. And the only way that we can honestly show those boys just how we feel about them in the West is to give them a real hero's welcome. So if you live in Timbuktu or any other place where there's a population of 2 to 200,000, everywhere included, and our train is passing through, drop down and meet your Stampeders, the Cowboys of the Gridiron, who won the Grey Cup here in Varsity Stadium this afternoon. But on behalf of the football club and on behalf of the Calgary football fans who made the trip down here to Eastern Canada to the city of Toronto, I would like to extend a real vote of thanks for the hospitable way in which you received us. Believe me, we thought Western hospitality was something. Well, you people here in the East are giving us a good run for our money, but if you'd like to have a sample of Western hospitality, drop out to the new home for the first time of the Grey Cup, Calgary, Alberta, and Calgary's Gridiron Stampeders. Thanks very much to the makers of Sweet Capital cigarettes for allowing me to be on the broadcast this afternoon. And once again, it's hats off to the Cowboys from Calgary, the Calgary Stampeders.
From Varsity Stadium in Toronto, the manufacturers of Sweet Capital cigarettes have sent you a play-by-play description of the game between the Calgary Stampeders and the Ottawa Rough Riders for the Grey Cup, emblematic of Canadian football supremacy. Your Sweet Cap play-by-play reporters were Wes McKnight and Jack Wells, and your commentators Tommy Shields and Ken Foss. We hope sincerely you've enjoyed this broadcast and those which preceded it throughout the football season. And we also hope that if you haven't done so lately, you'll get a package of Sweet Caps really soon. For we feel sure that you'll agree with countless smokers in all parts of the Dominion that there's extra enjoyment in smoking a Sweet Cap, the cigarette that's better than ever. This is Ted Root speaking, saying so long for Sweet Caps. We return you to our studios.
And now in tribute to the Calgary Stampeders, new Grey Cup champions of Canada, the March Rodeo. The Ottawa Rough Riders and the Calgary Stampeders will be entertained by the City of Toronto following today's Dominion football final. Hear the reception broadcast at 6:30 p.m. on many of these same stations. And now, the March Stadium.